French Foreign Legion. I don't have it. Like, I understand, I have respect for what they do, but I don't respect the concepts.
Mm.
And I'll go even further with this. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk to you about a few days ago, but unfortunately, you weren't able to bring me up on time before I'll just be honest, I got bored and left. But
what do you got?
The scams that these Somalis have been pulling with Medicare fraud, that has been going on for a while now,
okay.
and also the feeding our futures, is where they basically fed nobody and actually sent money overseas to Al Shabaab, which is a
wait a minute, hold on. I get that, but are we doing this from a standpoint of we like some groups and not others? I mean, think about the Italians that came to this country, mafia, mob. They were sending money back home to Sicily. They were robbing people, doing all of this. Far worse than what you're accusing the Somalis. They were actually terrorizing towns and things like that. President Trump likely worked with many members of the mafia to get buildings and things built in New York. We didn't tell them to go home. We didn't accuse them of any of this stuff. They were doing what the mafia was doing on the streets of Chicago, the streets of New York, the streets of Philadelphia was significantly worse than what the Somalis are doing. Why didn't they get the same?
First off, I would have highly objected that claim what you just made, where they said it was worse. I could not think of a worse, more treasonous actions, and taking money that's supposed to be going to people like those who are really poor in America and can't afford health care, and giving it to a fucking Al Qaeda offshoot. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
You're telling me the mafia taking people's lives, innocent shop owners. I would hate to see something happen to your pizza shop. I need 20% of your profits. You come back the next day, your whole store is burned to the ground. What's the difference? You're seeing Al Capone. Wait. You're seeing people like, hold on a minute. Wait, no. You're seeing people like Al Capone line people up and shoot them. What's the difference?
Well, wait a minute. Are you telling me that some people will not die because the Medicare is starting to get strained, and because as people can't afford it?
No.
All of a sudden, all these dollars are being diverted away from people who should qualify?
I'm trying to figure out what's the difference. Why? Okay, Somalians are scamming folks and sending money back to their country. The mafia treated people like shit in this country, killed people, and sent money back to their country. What's the difference?
Well, first off, there are plenty of Somali gangs anyway who do the exact same thing, so it doesn't really mean much to me. But also, when have I ever defended the mob?
No, I'm not asking you personally. I'm saying our country. Our country witnessed the mafia doing all kinds of awful shit, and they didn't tell the Italians to leave. The Somalians do something wrong. The Afghans have one guy doing something wrong, and they suddenly want the whole group of them gone. What's the difference?
I just want the ones that are guilty gone.
Well, you made it clear you don't agree with the current administration, but the current administration is targeting a whole lot of them. The whole group.
Yeah, and I don't believe in painting people with a broad brush, but here's the thing, Tim. I do believe that it's okay to talk about this as if it is a problem with Somalians, because it is a problem with them. Now,
wait. Every one of them?
No, but them as a collective, as a culture.
How?
Because when they come over here in rapid numbers and they're not forced to assimilate within a certain amount of time, which most of them don't. They don't. I'm sorry. It's just a fact.
What group of people? Yeah, but what group of people that come to America has been forced to assimilate? We've had a lot of groups of people come over the years. Who's been forced to assimilate?
Well, you know what? I'll say this right now. Despite my grievances with the mob, despite how much I don't think that they were a good thing, and that the mobsters that did come over or who started committing those crimes should have been deported the second they started committing crime, a lot of Italians were forced to assimilate, and the Irish especially were like so heavily discriminated against that the only way that they could really get accepted is from assimilation.
Well, actually, they were not forced to assimilate. The difference is, unlike the Irish or the Italians you're suggesting, the Somalis just said we'll stay in our own community, just like the Native Americans did. The Italians and the Irish you're talking about, they wanted to be part of a bigger, corporate America. They wanted, like the Irish wanted to be on the police force and stuff. You're not forced to join the police force, but if you do, you gotta assimilate.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There were cultural, and indirect legal pressures to assimilate. They were not so that they're allowed to just like do whatever they want. Like they ring, like they make the call to prayer like 5 a.m. in the fucking morning. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Okay, like at some point, like I'm trying to sleep, you motherfucker. Okay, you want to call to prayer? I'll make you pray for something else. I'll tell you that right now. Make me lose fucking sleep.
Okay, so you're saying, and you're talking about the situation in Dearborn, Michigan, where they have this siren that goes off at 5 in the morning. It's a call to prayer. So, what do you suggest? They should be thrown in jail for this?
I'm saying, maybe make it so that way it's an alarm on your phone, like an app. And I don't care if they make a call to prayer in the middle of the day. Everyone's awake in the middle of the day. I'm talking about the average person and who needs a call to prayer. I don't care that Muslims pray 5 times a day. That's fine. Make it an app. Make it.
So wait a minute. You said in the middle of the day you're okay. So what if they continue doing the same thing, but they said from now on we'll only do it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You'd be okay with it then?
I'd be more okay with it. I'd say it would still be kind of a pain in the ass.
Then what is the difference?
If that was a compromise, they'd be willing to make, I'd probably shake their hand.
What is the difference if they're doing it in the middle of the day? What is the difference between what they're doing in Catholic church bells or church bells going off in many towns? That happens. That's in the middle of the day, and that's loud as hell as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they're doing it in the middle of the day, that's not a problem.
You said you would be sort of okay with it, like it is somewhat of a problem.
You said no. You said 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right?
Would you be okay with that?
I'd make it. I'd probably make that compromise.
Okay.
I'd take it. Right. I guess the quote, "Inglourious Bastards." I take that deal.
All right, now we're getting somewhere, but you don't want it going off in the middle of the night. Look, I can kind of understand. I see in the comments, Me Too says, caller is mighty racist. He's referring to you. Says, isn't he an immigrant? Hold on, hang on. I'll let you respond. He continues on by saying, is he not an immigrant himself? Does he believe he makes the rules? What say you?
I assimilated, motherfucker. Looks like your brain didn't assimilate to reality, though.
Well, what is your definition of assimilating?
Assimilate means to copy and adopt principles, customs, and traditions of the native of culture and people.
Natives? Did we hear natives? Are you suggesting that the Native Americans would agree that you have assimilated? When's the last time you did a rain dance, Jeremy?
I mean, put on some good music. I'll bust a move right now.
You ever been to a powwow?
A snow dance.
You ever been to a powwow?
No, but actually, I kind of want to go. I'm not. Unironically, I actually kind of want to go to one of those.
You don't sound like you've assimilated. I'm not hearing assimilation in this.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we conquered the United States, so we get to make the rules.
Well, maybe they're.
And by we, I mean I'm talking about the founding fathers, and so I assimilated into what the founding fathers conquered and set up as the rules.
Well, maybe they're conquering it in their backdoor way. Remember, the founding fathers came over here as immigrants portraying friendship, and then they secretly did what they did from behind the scenes. Maybe that's what's happening with some of these other groups. They're taking a page out of the founding fathers' handbook.
Yeah, maybe. And here's the thing: I, for one, think that it's wrong to just conquer another people. But I think once it's been done, it's kind of like you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You know, like if it's like multiple generations, like 5th and 6th generation, you've got a country. It's what it is. You know, you should teach it in school and teach the history and be like, this was not a good thing. But it is what it is. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Well, and I don't disagree with that, but when you conquer the country, people that were already here are still here. You can't expect them, like the Hispanic community, for instance. You know, a large portion of America used to be part of sovereign Mexico. We're expecting those people, now that we've taken over the country, to assimilate and speak English and all this shit, when they're still in the same city. I haven't moved. You just took over my fucking town, and now you want me to start acting like somebody who is from England. We've always been here. So in some cases, it might be a stretch.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. The conquering part was the wrong part. But getting people to assimilate eventually into the native country, well, I'm sorry, it's got to happen. This happens in European borders all the time. Europe's maps have changed thousands of times over, and people adjusted. And you want to know the most based country on earth, Poland, still doesn't allow for a lot of immigrants to come in because they're like, you guys won't choose to break in and not assimilate.
That's not true, right? That's not true right now. Poland, I think, is taking in more Ukrainian refugees than any other country in that area. I think they're taking in 2 million people. So that is not the case anymore. Most of the Ukrainian refugees from that war, Poland is where they're at.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's kind of like us taking in Canadians because they're so climatized. They speak a very similar language to us. They speak whatever the hell old Canadians speak with their weird, oh yeah, you betcha, and all that crap.
Well, I think due to the guy you voted in office, the Canadians are not going to want to come to America for a while. I got to move it on though, Jeremy. I give you the last one. I do got to move it on though.
Before I go, I just want to say one more thing. I don't hate any one group of people for their color of skin. What I hate is behaviors. Okay, and if you behave right, welcome in, my brother. Anyway, see you around.
Do you believe the Somalis are garbage, as Trump stated?
Not as an entirety, but there are a lot of them that are acting in garbage ways.
We'll have to have this conversation another time. Appreciate it, Jeremy. All right, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 20,000. It's certainly enough for you guys here if you let your thumbs not be lazy. Looking in the comments, they have infested Iran as well. What do you mean by infestation? Wow, that's a hell of a term. Isn't that what Trump said? They're like vermin or they're poison in the blood. Infestation. Yikes. Is that what happened when the natives let the English in the country, the colonizers, the colonists, we infested the new land? Is that wow? That's a harsh term. Anyway, looking in the comments, we'll continue on. I don't normally like to block folks, but when they're typing nothing, it is what it is. So moving on with the program, my 3 favorite people are Zeus, Handsome, and Takesha. Gregory Glover, I appreciate being part of that trio. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Dencal, good evening. Welcome to the program. Using his logic, does he believe his people are garbage? Probably not, Tony. Probably not. Dencal, good evening.
Good evening.
So you heard me and Jeremy going back and forth. I want to ask you something. I think I know the answer to this, but I did preface this in the beginning of the live because we're taking out boats off the coast of Venezuela. And, it's to stop, allegedly, from Trump's side of the aisle, it's to allegedly stop harmful chemicals, harmful narcotics from entering America. I brought up the idea from shows like Banged Up Abroad and I forget what it's called. Locked Up Abroad is what it's called on Nat Geo, where Americans get caught smuggling drugs in other countries. Would we accept instant execution for Americans caught smuggling drugs into other countries, and that country just simply telling us, we caught one of your citizens smuggling drugs, we can confirm he was executed at the airport, but due to an ongoing investigation, we're not going to provide any evidence that he was actually carrying any narcotics at all, not to mention zero due process. Do you think we would accept that?
No, not at all. Like, what he's doing goes against all of the principles of the society that Jeremy is talking about we supposed to assimilate to. Like, we got meth labs in damn trailer parks all around the country right now. None of them are being targeted, by drones or missiles. It doesn't make any sense. We know where the fent is coming from. We know where it's coming from. And it ain't damn Honduras and it ain't damn Venezuela. It's coming from China.
So why aren't we bombing China?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's where the hypocrisy comes in. We sit here and listen to what they say, and then people like Jeremy come in and parrot it and say, yeah, what we doing is right. He's trying to stop, all these people from dying in America. That's not what they're doing.
So let me ask it to you this way: what the hell do you think is going on? In other words, okay, if you don't believe fentanyl is, you don't believe Venezuela is the #1 producer or a major producer even of fentanyl, and you don't see it. So why are we targeting Venezuela?
I got my personal beliefs about the whole geopolitical situation and their oil and his dedication to the oil companies. I don't know if you remember when he was running, he asked the oil companies to give him $1 billion and he would champion their interests.
I think I remember him saying something. He said that on TV, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I remember that. It was controversial, but yeah.
And now guess what? Their interest is those oil fields that they used to control a long time ago until Venezuela started saying no and tried to nationalize their oil fields. That's why we've been fighting with them ever since. Now he has an opportunity to fulfill his campaign promise to those people, and he's using the United States military, but he's doing it under the impression that it has something to do with drugs when we know it doesn't.
So this is nothing more than a smash and grab.
Yes, and also a lot of that stuff has to do with crypto and how some of these third world nations like Honduras had actually named, like Bitcoin as their national reserve currency and all that kind of stuff. That's why I think he probably released that Honduran drug lord. It's just a lot of geopolitical stuff that goes on. But what I do know is it ain't got nothing to do with stopping people from dying in America from overdoses. That's got nothing to do with nothing.
Well, but let's be clear. It's not like you or people on your side of the hour are geniuses and all MAGA are stupid. I guess I'd have to ask, why does MAGA not see what you're seeing? Because they do believe that there's a ton of fentanyl coming out of Venezuela and what Trump is doing is justified. Why do you think you're seeing it totally different than the likes of MAGA?
I don't think they really believe that. I think that they believe that the ends justify the means. I think they don't care like what he does along the way. As long as he does, as long as he's punishing the people that they don't like, they don't care what he does. They don't care why he's doing it either. They just say, well, he's getting people out of here. When they're literally, you just heard Jeremy say, well, the Somali people, how can you just judge a whole goddamn group, a whole damn race of people, just by simply because Trump got set up there in front of the world and said they garbage? Like, that's the most horrific shit we should ever want as Americans, is to hear the president, the most powerful man in the world, say that people from one specific part of the world are garbage, they're trash, they're nasty. That is horrific to me.
The way he orated it was pretty damning. I mean, he said their country stinks. I wonder, has he been to Somalia? He said it stinks. Has he been there?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Putting people in specific groups and calling them all something is just flat out wrong. Nobody said, just like you tried to make the explanation about, heck, the people in the mafia and stuff and what they did to this country, and they were running all major cities, and they were running prostitution, they were running, illegal firearms, they were doing it all. They was doing it all. And you can go into Little Italy right now and grandmama in the back making pasta. She can't speak a word of fucking English.
That is a good point. I mean, there's plenty of Chinese here. Chinese.
Go to Chinatown and talk to them. Go to any town, anybody who wants to favor their foreign, their nationalities being Russian or whether it's German. You can have a damn Nigerian restaurant or whatever. You can have these things, and these people come together because they have these certain things, these common bonds between each other. And they're here trying to make a better life for themselves. And then to say that they just came here and all they did was robbed America and they stole and that's all they here is doing it. That's fucking bullshit, man.
Well, I mean, listen, like I said, a hell of a lot of folks on the right believe that the Somalians are indeed draining this country of wealth and committing acts of fraud. I mean, it didn't. I mean, like my guess is many of them have not been to Minnesota or engaged in any type of interaction with Somalis either. But it wasn't hard to convince them of this.
Right, and you could have asked these people a week ago before they heard Trump say that, and you could have said, I mean, we had listened to him say this stuff about the people eating cats and dogs and stuff, and what did it boil down to? Well, there is a couple of them that still do it, but now you ask them, and they have adopted this ideology just like that. Now all Somali people are somehow,
garbage,
just out here just scamming and robbing the place. When those people were brought there by the American government, by the governor, to fill those positions in that in those growing industries in that town, because they couldn't get enough of the meth heads in that town to come take those jobs.
But I know that's the Haitians that they're talking about. What Trump wants all of them folks doing.
Yeah, the Haitians.
Yeah. Live Squad Nation in the comments says, did you see that 10% of Somali's population has been erased in a month? I've not heard that. Based on how did that happen? Is it deportations? Have you heard anything like that?
No, I know they said that they've ramped. The last thing I saw is that they've ramped up. Not in the Somali communities just snatching people up off the street. If you look Somali, they grabbing you, and now they saying they have to walk around with their papers, with their actual visa or their green cards, and they have to be terrified that somebody is coming to get them, and that's just wrong. I don't care who it's against, and the people just like Jeremy and Marguerite, they don't understand that they fucking next. They next on the chopping block.
Well, let's be clear. Marguerite is still a big fan of Trump, but Jeremy is not. Jeremy said he's not happy with the performance of Trump.
Well, if he might not be happy with the performance of Trump, but he still gets up here and parrots the same bullshit every day. Just because you back away. Remember when you were saying a while ago, and a lot of people agree, that down the line in history, it'll be hard to get people to be like, yeah, I was MAGA.
Yeah, I think with some of this stuff, it's kind of like a lot of the other groups of hate. People don't want to admit that they want something. Like a good example, there's a lot of people that are still alive from the Martin Luther King era, like spitting on a black girl trying to go to a white school for the first time. They don't want to be identified. I mean, all of them folks are not gone. So yeah, there's a lot of people that have been part of movements that were maybe popular at the time, but now that it's incredibly unpopular, they don't want to be identified.
And I got what I used to consider a friend. He's just an acquaintance now, but I keep dialogue with him because I just want to dig into the mind of a damn, MAGA person and see, like, what do they have a limit? How far they will go, and just adopting anything he says, and it's like they don't. But guess what he's saying now? Well, I'm an independent. No, you fucking not.
Yeah,
I don't agree with everything he says, but yeah, you believe you agree with 99%, but that 1%, now you ain't down with the crew no more.
So in other words, he's MAGA, but doesn't want to confirm that he's MAGA. And Minnesota Fishers, where is that? What are you talking about their Live Squad? So I do agree that there could come a time like that if the policies and the mindset of MAGA and Trump become incredibly unpopular in the future, and if the Republican democracy stays the same, many of them will. Certainly having people walk around so fearful they got to carry their passports on them, that ain't going to, historically, that's not going to be popular. There are going to be people that are probably going to be hesitant to admit they supported ICE doing that to people. So I can see it. I can certainly see that happening.
And I don't understand what this talk about. The assimilation. They need to assimilate. They have assimilated to our society. They've come here. They've learned how to drive. They opened up businesses. They engage in public discourse. They are assimilated. just because they don't become Christians and, you know, and start talking proper English does not mean they have not assimilated.
Well,
not assimilating means that they driving on the left side of the road now. That's the one they drove over in the other country. That's not assimilating. If they decide to just drive without a driver's license, yeah, if they decide that, you know, that they wanted to start just serving up cats and dogs on the menu in a restaurant, that's not assimilating. No. They are assimilating, just not to their standard.
That almost happened to me when I was in Australia. It took me a while to get used to driving on the other side of the road. I mean, I really almost had some serious bang ups because you walk across the street, you're taught to look right or left, then right, and all of that. All that's backwards. I almost got hit by a bus, so I can understand it a little bit.
So imagine, they going through the exact same thing in our society. Yeah. But they have learned how to assimilate to the rules and the laws of America. And hey, if what they're saying is right about those Somalis scamming people, we know that they've assimilated. Because that's what Americans do. Scam, fucking scam. That's what we do.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know. So listen, I wasn't alive earlier today. And I had a member of Black MAGA. You know, I like to go into MAGA-oriented pages. And member of the Black MAGA side of things, there's still a lot of them out there, and they're still quite happy with Trump. One of the reasons he voted for Trump, he told me, was that Trump has exposed so many people, exposed a lot of corruption. Have you seen any of that? Is that the way you see it?
I mean, if exposed corruption means like pardoning people who broke the law and was trying to, assassinate our vice president, or drug kingpins or fraudsters, that stole billions of our tax dollars. If that's what he means, yeah. But like, as far as like draining the swamp, he has dove into the swamp, and he is now the leader of the swamp. He's not exposed. What is he exposing? Who is going to jail? Everybody in his cabinet that's done something wrong, he just either ignores it, or says, I support it. No, even if it's illegal, he just says, I support it. He's not exposing anybody.
Well, you make an interesting point, because if with the exposing of corruption, it probably would be a bit more credible if people were being prosecuted and going to jail for it. Like, for instance, election fraud. He talks about dead people voting, illegal immigrants voting, and things like that. If you have a claim that hundreds, if not thousands, of people are voting illegally, it would help that claim if you were actually prosecuting some of them. I mean, you can't claim 1,000 people done something wrong in this town and you didn't arrest any of them. You haven't brought any of them in. So, but this is what he says.
Not one person. He look. Matter of fact, the woman that we have on videotape allowing those tech people to come in there and tear apart our voting machines and got caught red-handed, he's demanding the governor of her state release, pardon her.
Well, I thought we were for states' rights. Why would you tell the governor of a state what to do in regards to a pardon? That's obviously the opposite of states' rights. When you don't have the ability to federally pardon them, so now you're going to tell the governor to do it? That seems like it goes against.
Threaten them. And most likely he's going to try to use federal tax dollars to threaten a man to release a woman that was caught red-handed on videotape. I don't even understand why we even having this conversation. We had a conversation about this Honduran, president.
Why do you think that's a good point. Now, I want to get your speculation on it. The president of Honduras, responsible for 400 metric tons of cocaine coming into America. He received a 45-year sentence as of last June 2024. Served a little bit over a year of that sentence, and Trump has pardoned him, saving him 43 plus years in prison. So why do you think that happened in the middle of a drug war?
Because Biden, because I mean, I'm just going to use, because Obama, I mean, that's what they do. There is no like rhyme or reason. He gets on there and says somebody told him that Biden did something bad with the Department of Justice, and so therefore he just released the dude. When we got testimony of the people against him that said he would be telling them that he was going to be shoving the dope up Americans' noses. Shoving it.
You know, now I had one of my friends who was MAGA. I was debating him before I came on this live here, and he told me, listen, methamphetamines and substances like cocaine, they're not as lethal as fentanyl. So maybe that's why Trump's response towards fentanyl is significant, and there's really no response at all coming from Trump towards dealers and possessors of cocaine and drugs like methamphetamine, crack, and heroin. None at all, because suggesting that maybe it's because fentanyl is lethal and all this other stuff, which can be lethal. It just is not. It's not as instant as fentanyl.
Yeah, I mean, if that were his rationale, then we should be dropping bombs on China right now. Like, that's where it's coming from. And a lot of it comes from Canada also, because it comes from China into Canada, then through the border. But instead, we messing with a country that provides maybe less than 10% of the cocaine and probably like 0.5% of fentanyl. They just like, it's just not their thing.
No. 10% of the drugs, you get 10% of our military in the region. I got to move it on, then, Cal, but that is what we're dealing with. Appreciate you coming in, man. Thanks as always.
Hey, just one quick thing.
Sure.
I just wanted to say, as far as this thing with the boats out there in the water. Mm-hmm. Now, Pete Hegseth, like, they're literally throwing this admiral under the bus by saying, well, I was there, but when it happened, it was the fog of war, and then, I had a lot of stuff to do, so I got up and, that is not an excuse for the top law enforcement man in the world. Yes. You can delegate your authority, but you cannot delegate responsibility. If you sitting there and you've given this man the rules of engagement for what's going on, and he does something, you can't just be like, well, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Yes. You are ultimately responsible. When my guys used to mess up, and I'm talking about on the lowest levels of the military, when my guys mess up, guess who got to go stand in front of the man and explain?
Yeah. Well, listen, Hegseth is learning a lot from the Trump administration. So the guy's a quick learner, man. The guy's a quick learner. I got to go.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, Dick. Real quick, thanks. Certainly, friend of the program. Shout out to your live squad nation. Is that say Cowboy Baby? Thank you guys both for supporting the program. Cowboy Baby Yoda. That's a hell of a name there. Thank you for your support, and certainly Live Squad Nation. What we're also talking about, yeah, you're right, Arlita. Trump said he didn't know anything about it. I mentioned that earlier. That's Trump's go-to response for anything that looks like it might be troubling, that may be troubling for him, whether we're talking all the way back from David Duke, Nick Fuentes, Stormy Daniels. I don't know him. It's kind of like a repeat of the old song by Shaggy. It wasn't me. I don't know him. I mean, that's kind of what he often says anytime something is going on that may not be beneficial to him or his administration. I didn't know it. I mean, even this Honduran president that he just pardoned, responsible for 400 metric tons of cocaine coming into America. When he was questioned on it, well, I really didn't know who he was. Why the hell would you pardon somebody you didn't know? He also said that about the Binance founder, who is responsible for a $2 billion deal with his own family. I didn't know who he was. Oh, you're pardoning people you don't even know who they are? I mean, he said that twice about 2 pardons already. But anyway, moving on with the program. Definitely not, but that's a weird response. I don't know what you were talking about, Live Nation. Tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. Trump doesn't want to be on the record. That could be. That absolutely could be. But as my last caller stated, when you're in charge and people under your command do something that is concerning, or let's just be clear, somebody fucks up, you get blamed for that. You don't get to say, well, it wasn't me, because if they do something that is beneficial, you're going to take credit for it. If Pete Hegseth saves the day, Trump is going to take credit for that. So if he ruins the day, all of a sudden it's Hegseth's fault. So I don't know about that. And I certainly have a difficult time believing that Hegseth would witness the first strike on this boat. But then when the smoke cleared and the people were still hanging onto the boat and they hit it a second time, he wasn't around anymore. If you watch something being destroyed in front of your face and it goes up into a flash of light and a bunch of smoke, you're going to stay there and see what's left behind that thread. This was the very first strike. This was the very first boat that was targeted. So you're there to watch the boat get blown up. But before the smoke clears to make sure the boat is actually decimated, you didn't hang around for that. That's hard to believe. I just want to say, I'm not saying it may not be true. Maybe he has some other pressing event, but you're in a skip sitting there watching. I mean, it's like watching, you see Obama and Clinton sitting there watching them go and take out bin Laden during the Obama administration, and Obama gets up and leaves in the middle of it. They haven't really found bin Laden yet. He just gets up and leaves. Hard to believe that you didn't somehow, some way see the end of that. That's kind of hard to believe, but he did say that. In the comments, user 443 says he had to run to the whiskey bottle. Yikes. Hegseth is not drinking in the office, is he? Where are you getting that from? You guys are calling him Whiskey Pete and Hennessy Hegseth and all this other stuff. Where are you getting that from? Let me go back to the box. Thank you guys that are tapping the screen. Get the likes on up. James Harper, good afternoon. How many drug smuggling boats have 11 people on them? Where's the room for drugs? That's an interesting question. He said, how many drug smuggling boats would have? That is an interesting point. Why would you have 11 people on a boat moving narcotics? You don't need that much manpower. Why would you have them all on there? James Harper, good afternoon.
What's going on, Tom?
Not much at all. Good to have you back on. We're also going back into the notion of Trump calling Somalis in Minnesota garbage, suggesting that they're committing widespread acts of fraud. They're a leech on the system. I think Kristi Noem called them leeches. Why do you think they're so gung-ho on this? I mean, this is a small population. Really, when you think about it, why do you think they're so gung-ho on the Somalis like this? Are they really that much of a leech on the state of Minnesota?
No, there's just a new scapegoat.
Scapegoat for who?
Scapegoat for Trump to say things aren't going right because of these people.
So are we under the impression that if you get rid of all the Somalis, the state of Minnesota would suddenly be much better off financially?
That's the bullshit he's spreading.
You think people buying it?
MAGA's buying it.
I don't know. I mean, well, listen, I haven't heard a lot of MAGA state that they have a big problem with this, but then again, I have heard some folks say that they don't agree with them calling them garbage, though. But how about the claim that they are not assimilating? They're not getting jobs. They're not getting off welfare. They're receiving SNAP and benefits.
They're not even, the biggest recipient is rural white people. Why do MAGA not get that in their head? Like, all these minorities are not just sitting there on the system, just leeching off the system. A lot of them have jobs. It's usually the jobs that regular Americans don't want.
I believe Trump, if I'm correct, I'd have to look it up, but I thought he said like 80% of them were on the government dole.
Yeah, he always exaggerates. I guarantee you it's not even 10% of what he said.
Yeah, I think he said like 80%, which is an astoundingly high number. Now, when you mention, and I believe that is somewhat correct, that a large portion of Americans that are on the dole are whites in rural America.
They're usually and whenever you look at a news report about like a scamming ring or something like that gets blown up, who's the majority that you see in that scamming ring?
I'm not aware of that. You suggested that it's usually whites.
Yes, it is usually is.
Okay, I can't
like it. If you pull up on your thing right now, if you just put in either like welfare or Medicaid scam ring busted, and then it will show you the mug shots. They'll be 90% white.
I'm actually interested, so I'm gonna put in. I'm actually gonna type it as you said. Medicaid. What did you say? Scam ring busted. I'm just gonna see what comes up.
It's either scam or fraud.
Okay, well, we'll try scam ring busted first, and I'm gonna see what comes up. I'm just gonna click on images so I can get pictures. There's a black guy. The first guy is black, but there's an ample amount of
guy. But who's the majority that you see right now?
Yeah, there's both. There is both. I see a group of blacks. I see groups of whites. I don't see groups of. I don't know if I'm looking at any groups of Somalians though.
You don't see Somalis, you don't see Mexicans, you don't see Cubans, you don't see none of these minority immigrants. It's usually homegrown white people, and it's usually like in rural areas.
Yeah. Like this couple here, this is a $1.5 million Medicaid fraud scheme, it says. So I don't know, are they white? Are they, well, she certainly is a white woman. I don't know if he could be Hispanic, I don't know, but yeah, I guess you're kind of right. It ain't just, it certainly is not just all people of color. That's absolutely true.
Right. And then to your question about that whole like drug boats, if we would be okay with that? No. If we sat there and saw Americans getting slaughtered left and right, that would be justification enough to either do a strike or to call for a vote of war.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that if Americans caught smuggling drugs into, let's say, Thailand or Cambodia or even into Mexico.
If they tried to make up the excuse saying like, oh, we killed all these Americans because we think they had drugs and stuff like that, the first thing you're gonna say is, where's your proof? And when you don't present the proof, then it becomes an issue. That was one of the reasons why we joined World War I, because they were blowing up American boats and didn't have any thing. They just accused them of smuggling weapons and things like that and helping the enemy, and then we jumped into it.
So what happens though if President Trump is indeed doing this based on information he's receiving from clandestine investigations, and he later proves that every one of these boats did indeed contain, harmful narcotics?
If he had the proof, do you not think he would have had that proof like right there blown up? Just like, remember, he had proof of Ilmar Abrego Garcia being MS-13. What did he do? He showed a picture of it. He had a picture like saying, hey, look, here it is right here.
I don't know if he ever proved that Kilmar Abrego Garcia was MS-13 or not.
But he had so-called physical evidence, and he showed it immediately. He didn't say, oh, it's kind of classified, we got to wait till everything's over. No, he immediately came out and say, hey, look, this proves my point.
Yeah, but the claim is that when you're talking about taking out drug vessels, they may have informants and things like that are telling us who these people are, and we're using that as information to target them. And by telling us what's on the boat or who's on the boat, it might blow open the investigation and cause snitches to be placed in harm's way. That's what they're claiming.
That's another lie, because what the Coast Guard usually does is they seize the boats and then they take all that evidence, and then they also try to figure out, okay, who sent you, who's the one that's financing all this, and then they go for there.
I mean,
to all the people that keep bringing up Obama and them damn drone strikes, you're confusing collateral damage with intentional strikes on targets that don't have there's no proof that anything's going on with them.
I don't know if Obama droning at American was collateral damage. I thought that was intentional.
That was like a lot of those strikes. It was off of information that they actually like was going for a specific target, and people around there got killed. It wasn't that he was just immediately there's some random people, let's go hit there. No, there was a target in the area, and there were civilians around, and they deemed that that opportunity could not be missed.
And I see in the comments, Fox Loves You says that hat makes me want to throw up. Says what? When are you guys going to learn? So I suppose she's telling me that the MAGA hat is making her want to vomit. Does the MAGA hat make you want to vomit there, James?
Tim, I've been actually defending you on TikTok because people keep asking, is the handsome liberal MAGA? And it's like, no, he's not MAGA. He just talks to MAGA.
I enjoy talking to MAGA. I'm always respectful. I love talking to my MAGA viewers, but I get accused of being MAGA every fucking show. Every show I'm MAGA in hiding. I'm a coon. I had people just posting a few minutes ago actual emojis that had a raccoon on it. I have never seen that before. I'm learning things, but they actually sent me little cute raccoons. I don't know why they do this. We're just having a conversation. Let me ask you, though, what do you think of a black man that supports President Trump?
I think that he's trying to do what Jeremy says. He's trying to assimilate to white culture and all that. Because if you actually looked at how Black MAGA is actually treated by MAGA, you wouldn't try to figure out, like, why do you stay? Why do you stay around people who actively talk shit and disrespect you, not only behind your back, but to your face?
How does President Trump himself, I'm not talking about his supporters, because supporters can say anything. How is President Trump himself disrespecting black people?
He tokenizes them, and then, like, what he does, he gives them jobs that's supposed to be black jobs. Like, what jobs are black jobs?
I mean, I heard him use the phrase black jobs, but I mean, he gave Ben Carson the head of housing and urban development. That's not a.
What was his justification for giving a celebrated neurosurgeon the job of Secretary of Housing instead of the Secretary of Health?
I guess he was.
It was because he lived in urban housing before. That was his justification. Not because he's experiencing, like, the housing market and things like that. No, it was because he lived in the projects, so he should be in charge of the projects.
That's a hell of a way, and I think you're right. That's a hell of a way of doing it. In the comments, Fox Loves You says, I think it's stupid for a black person to support Trump. He says, because he still believes in slavery. Have you seen any evidence of that? That Trump believes in slavery?
What I believe is Trump is an opportunist, and he knows what his base likes, and he will completely go with that the entire way. He won't denounce them for nothing. He'll be like, he'll rally behind them and let them believe that what they believe is the right thing, as long as they keep supporting him.
You don't believe Trump, though, would condone keeping black people in bondage, do you?
This coming from the man who actively would tell the Smithsonian to take things about slavery down because it's considered too woke.
Yeah, but keeping people as property and chattel, that's a big stretch from taking shit down at the Smithsonian. You think Trump would actually do that?
I don't think he would do that, but at the same time, the fact that he literally said out his mouth that Stephen Miller, if he had his way, everybody would look like him, instead of saying, you know what, that way of thinking is not right, I can't have you around me, says all that needs to be said about him.
I'm hearing that the man has done more, and this is what the African American I was talking to today, the Black MAGA guy, he was saying that Trump has done more for blacks than any president in his lifetime, and he had to be at least late 30s, early 40s. He was not a young guy.
And I will tell you that man is the most delusional person that you've talked to, because he doesn't even realize that Barack Obama actually did things like the My Brother's Keeper program, which was actually meant to curb inner city violence in cities like Chicago. Like, you didn't see Trump doing that. In fact, what you saw Trump doing was he would take away stuff that was supposed to be beneficial to black people until somebody insisted and say it's a good PR stunt. Then he reinstates stuff that he already took away. That's the only thing he's done.
What has Trump taken away that would be beneficial to black people?
The funding for the HBCUs, he initially took that away. Yeah. Until people came up to him and talked about it. Then he reinstated it and said, oh, look, I'm making it permanent, when it, like, no, what you did was you just put the money back that was already allocated to him. And then what makes it worse is Biden put more money into it than Trump did. And then what happened? All those policies that Biden put in there, he started taking that shit away.
You know, the crazy thing is you often hear Trump getting credit for HBCUs and you never hear Biden getting credit for it. So people, I mean, you often, go ahead.
The main thing that they want to keep saying about Biden was the crime bill. That crime bill that he did years ago. But whenever you talk about like Trump and like the tax cuts, or when he mismanages COVID and things like that, they're like, oh, you can't hold him to that.
But what about folks who claim that it is Democrats that is somewhat discriminatory, or I mean, almost like enslaving types towards blacks? Like, for instance, in the comments, Don Trump 2028, I guess he's suggesting that there's another Trump term coming up in the future. He says, who will work our fields? Democrats. Does that sound familiar? So he's saying that the Democrat Party is the one that wants blacks working fields and doing these menial jobs, not the Republican Party. I mean, a lot of folks say that. You're on a Democrat plantation and all that.
That comes from the people whose actual president said that immigrants were taking black jobs, and the only jobs that immigrants were doing was working fields and doing construction and things like that. The small jobs that normal Americans don't want to do.
Yeah, generally, yeah. Go ahead.
You got to also remember, like, whenever they talk about the Democrats, they talk about all the shit that Democrats did, like, way back in the beginning of the country, when Democrats were actually conservative instead of they were actually being the liberal party that they are today. Because back then, Democrats were conservative, Republicans were liberal, until what? The Civil Rights Act. That's when the party started doing a switch.
A lot of folks on the right do not believe a party switch took place. They believe that's bullshit.
You want to know why? Because if they believe that, then they have to accept the fact that the negative things that they say about the Democrat Party is now going on with the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody on the right that believes a party switch took place. It's amazing that the difference between.
Okay. But which party did they say started the whole the Dixiecrats and things like that? They started it, right? But who's the one waving the Confederate flags and all that now? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans?
Yeah, that's a Republican. And that's a really good point, is that the Democrats were the party of the Confederate South and slavery, and all of a sudden now the Republicans are adopting their flags and, you know, talking about protecting the monuments and things like that. That would not make sense to just all of a sudden defend your enemies.
Every time you see those Republican and MAGA protests, what flag do you see waving right alongside them? You see them Nazi flags, you see Confederate flags with them. You don't see that with the Democrats, because why? They always talk about, oh, you guys are the party of the LGBTQ and things like that now.
I don't know I don't agree that you see the Nazi flag. I mean, you go to a Republican gathering, you'll see Confederate flags. I don't know about the Nazi flag. Now, you will see Nazi and Confederate flags flown together in some places, but you don't normally see, if you go to a Republican gathering, you don't normally see Nazis there.
No, you actually see both. Like I've seen them on, like, you can actually Google it right now. You can see like Nazi MAGA, and you'll see, and there'll be images of them waving. They'll have the Trump flag, and then you see like the Nazi flag, and you never see them like boot them people out or anything like that. No, they let them go.
Like I always say, I've been to a couple of Trump rallies. I don't think you could have showed it with a Nazi flag. You could have showed it with a Confederate flag, but I don't know about a Nazi flag.
You look in the comments right now, like all the people with that like great replacement theory and things like that. Who's the main ones that white nationalists and racists?
Well, they do have a right-leaning point of view. There's no denying that. I mean, when you look at what the left stands for and what the right stands for, it's pretty safe to assume that if you're going to be racist, at least towards minorities, because I believe anybody can be racist. I'm not one that believes blacks cannot be racist. I believe anybody can be racist. But if you are white and you're racist towards people of color, the statistical probability is astronomically high that you're going to have right-leaning principles. You're not going to be racist towards minorities in Democrat, because that's the party where all the minorities are affiliating with. So that part doesn't make any sense. But I gotta move it on there, James. Hopefully, I don't see any Nazi flags flown at a Republican gathering. I haven't seen it yet, but that would be concerning.
All right, Tim. But yeah, like I said, that's how they are. And then you said like MAGA's not dumb. Okay, we won't call them dumb. We'll just call them gullible. Because
Fair
anything
enough.
that Trump comes out of his mouth with, they automatically accept it like it's gospel. But if you try to sit there and point facts to them, they'll either say that the facts are wrong or it's fake news.
I can't argue that. And there's plenty of folks that are like that. James, appreciate you coming through. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get us on up to 50,000. This is certainly uncensored free speech. That's what we always do. We are MAGA friendly. We don't get as many MAGA guests. We certainly enjoy talking to them. We don't block, ban, or censor you when you come up. Doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. Alter ego. Appreciate the help your boy out, you folks. Help your boy out. Thank you, Alter Ego, with those TikTok caps, helping your boy reach that goal. Thank you very much. But yeah, we don't block, ban, or censor. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Everyone gets to speak, regardless of your political affiliation. There is no censorship on this program. Been doing it 4 years. We don't even have a moderator here, so understand that. And I'll tell you this, because you often hear that the left is all about cancel culture and the right is free. I only generally go to right-leaning outlets when I'm not here on my own. I get banned all the time. In fact, it happened to me today. The black MAGA person I'm telling you about now kicked me off the program when I said something he didn't like. Went against his opinion, boom, I get muted. I get all of that shit. So don't ever let someone tell you that only the left cancels, censors, or blocks. I know for a fact it happens a lot on social media coming from the right, because I only go on the right, and it's a lot of them folks who do that. MGD versus MJA. I don't know what those acronyms stand for, but thank you for your support, Mr. Walter. Thank you as well. What's right or left? Well, you know what's right or left. Conservatives tend to lean right. Liberals, progressives tend to lean left. Republicans currently are what represents the right. There was a time when Republicans were progressive, but they're not now. So that's what we talk about when we say what's right and what's left. I was in that live stream. He deleted you. Yeah, Chris, exactly. I get that a lot. I mean, most of the people, certainly this is to my TikTok audience, most of the social media pages you see from folks that are on the right, I've been in there once or twice, some cases dozens of times, and I get banned, censored, muted. Happens all the time, cussed out. I don't do any of that to my guests. We don't talk down to any guests. You can be as far to the right, far to the left as you want on this program. That's what free speech is all about. In fact, that's the reason we don't have a moderator here. Most of the platforms I go to that are MAGA oriented, they have moderators, and the moderators lean right. So now you're not just trying to have a conversation with the actual host. The moderators are also censoring you because they agree with the host, and they don't. That's one reason why we started out from day one. We were never going to have a moderator, because moderators are just, that's bias. We don't do that here. Anyway, looking in the comments, truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. Sassy. That's deep. Truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth, and most likely true. Most of the Democratic channels I go to have a moderator. I get censored or blocked on every one. Well, that ain't going. That is not going to happen. Get my grammar right. Red. I don't see what the rest of that says. Red 1277. That's not going to happen here though. But yeah, most of these platforms, there's a lot of censorship, muting of microphones, all of that. We don't do any of that here. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us on up to 50,000. We'll go ahead and take the next caller at 50,000, if you will. We'll go to Gangsta. Trump said he'd get rid of property tax. Well, that ain't go. How could you get rid of property tax? Vince, MAGA reaction. You think Trump can do that? Now, you're a Trump supporter. You think he could get rid of property tax in America?
Not him. DeSantis is the one trying to do that. The governor of a state can, not the president.
So there's no. So he's going to. Well, how much longer does he have to go? He's gone in the midterms, right?
DeSantis, yeah. I don't know when he's gone. To be honest,
I think he's at the end of his. I don't think he can run again. I think he's. I don't know.
He's at the end of his thing, but I don't know how long he has left.
Okay.
But in Florida, we got no state tax. No, the only tax we pay is sales tax, and we pay some fees when we register our business every year. I pay like $600.
Where's the money coming from? You guys get a lot of hurricanes in Florida. Where's the money coming from to take care of your state?
From sales tax. That's the only source of income. I mean, and some other stuff, but we got no income tax.
How much is your sales tax down there?
Like 6%, 7%. If I'm in Miami, 7. If I'm on Broward, is like 6.5.
That's not that much. That alone covers all your roads, bridges, and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we have some toll roads, but other than that, so they get money from tolls, but I think that mostly goes to the county. It doesn't go to the state. And on top of that, he's trying to get rid of the property taxes, which is, I find, I mean, even I am not like for that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the state has so much money that they're lowering the taxes. And if we could do it, I don't get why California and New York and all these other places can't do it.
I agree. If you can survive off of just sales tax and you don't have anybody paying, you don't pay income tax there either, do you?
I mean, I only pay the federal income tax.
Yeah.
I don't pay there's no
right.
state
So you're
income
not paying any state tax or getting rid of property. If you can do all of that and still maintain that state, yeah, you're right. It would make California look horrible.
It does make California look horrible. I mean, I think Texas is the same way. I mean, I think they have a little bit more taxes than us, but it's the same way. They got no state income tax.
What happens if you're following your face, though? Are there social programs in place to help you? Is there any social safety nets?
Yeah, we got unemployment. We got all the same basic stuff. We just don't waste money on stupid stuff.
What is stupid stuff?
I don't know. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
How about what Gangsta Grandma in the comments is saying? Gangsta Grandma in the comments is saying you're getting all your money from blue states.
In Florida, I don't. Money for what? Blue state money doesn't go to the state. It goes to maybe the people, but I don't know. The Democrats keep saying that shit, and I never understood how that shit works or what they're talking about.
Yeah, and
are they talking about the federal budget, or what the fuck are they talking about?
I don't know, because I see in the comments, Rooster says, "Bro, just believe what he said." No, I didn't believe it. I'm questioning the logic. I don't see how that's possible. Your state could alleviate all these taxes and still function efficiently. I'd be curious. Something has to be missing in your state. I mean, these other states are not just cashing in on the dough. Something has to be missing for the residents of your state if they're not collecting taxes in all these areas. I was told to ask you about Saudi Arabia doing business with Miami. Are you aware of this?
Okay, Saudi Arabia does business with everybody, but no, I'm not aware of it, and I don't even see why that matters. I mean, isn't that what Trump's trying to do, is get them to do more business with America so they could bring more money in?
Well, you're right. They likely do business with a lot of different entities, but the fact is, I mean, I don't want to say, well, we talk about Khashoggi, we're talking about human rights and stuff like that. So yeah, they can help you make money, but what about if they are a bad player?
We've also had no sales tax we've also had no income tax forever. Like it's not something new. I mean, what we did, like we voted for more like tax breaks on the property tax. I remember that was one of the things we voted for last election, to increase the homesteading exemption. And but overall, we've had no sales tax. No income tax since forever. Like it's something that's
I'm wondering, because somebody in the comments mentioned Disney World. I'm wondering, because your state is heavily toured, like Vegas, for instance, that maybe a lot of your stuff is paid for by the amount of tourism that's down there. I'm wondering if it could be that, because
we still collect sales tax, so yeah, we probably just make all our money off sales tax and maybe tolls. I don't know. I gotta look into that. I want to see how Florida actually makes this money versus California.
But it's got to be. But even still,
he's trying to get rid of property taxes.
Yeah, but
it's one of the biggest expenses right now.
Yeah, but even still, because I mean, California is also heavily toured, so you can't discount. If Florida can do this off of tourist dollars, California's a heavily toured state as well. So yeah, I mean, I'd have to see what Florida's doing that makes them so special, because a lot of folks do favor the Florida economy. A lot of, DeSantis got a lot of fame from that. I mean, they do see California, like Gavin Newsom, the first thing he gets hammered on is the high taxes of California. Now, your state is going up though, because so many people are moving there, right? The cost of living there is going up.
Yeah, it's all because people are moving in faster than we could build it, but we're building it. It's not like California where they're not building shit. There's new stuff going up every fucking day. But there's way more people moving in because, California. I think California and New York does it on purpose because they're getting rid of all their like right-wing people, and the people who are staying are never going to stop voting for them.
I gotta tell you, MAGA, I think with what Trump is doing to the Cubans and Haitians and all, you guys may be getting rid of some right-wing people soon too. I think some of the right-wingers in your state may no longer be right-wingers.
I don't see that ICE shit. I mean, there's people afraid and like maybe they're not out at working like they used to be a little bit. I'll admit that. But overall, I don't think ICE is as bad as you're saying. Plus, like I keep saying, his numbers are not that good. His deportation numbers are nothing to fucking brag about.
But
They're
you
the
just
same or even less than Biden.
You said I understand people are afraid and maybe not out working a little bit like they should. That should tell you something. That people are so scared they're staying in the fucking house. That should tell you something.
News than anything.
Huh?
They're on the news. You got Trump deporting just as many people as Biden, less people than Biden. Yet the news is blowing it up so much it's got people scared.
You really think that the Biden deportations and the Trump deportations are similar?
Biden's still above. Biden still has more. Biden's best year is still better than Trump's current year.
Where was Biden deportations taking place at?
I mean, all over.
No, they were not. They weren't going at Home Depot and grabbing people at actual court hearings and shit like that. It was happening at the border. Biden's deportations, even if they were more, even if Obama's were more, they were not in the manner. They weren't smashing out car windows on television when Biden and Obama was doing it. I mean, Trump's deportations are taking place in inner cities and things like that. Specific targeting of major cities. That's why it's getting more attention.
I mean, I remember Obama's deportation being that bad. I don't know about Biden because they were never covered by the news. How can I tell you yes or no if it was never on the news like it is with fucking Trump?
Too busy
there was
covering.
never an app that fucking chased the ICE around and reported ICE's position and put it on YouTube and stuff.
You were too busy covering him falling off his bike to actually tell people the actual news. That's nothing I can say about that. Tim don't believe. How about this? Real Talk says Tim don't believe Bastard reacts. He ain't shit. Oh my God.
Misinformation and lying. Tell me something I'm lying about. They didn't list one thing I lied about. Fucking King Finn got on here. It's like, oh, what a liar. They didn't list one thing I lied about.
Well,
What the fuck am I lying about?
I'm not for sure if you're correct about Biden's deportations. I mean, once Trump's term is done, you're saying Biden has more deportations, but Trump's only been in office some months where we're comparing to 4 years of Biden. I think Trump wanting 3,000 per day is going to greatly exceed what Biden did.
You said one thing. Actually doing is different. As far as I know, this year is nothing special. Like, as far as, every time I've looked at the numbers, Biden hasn't beat, and Obama definitely hasn't beat.
How about what Yo Mom is saying? He says Biden deportations were not performative showboating theater like Trump. How about that? That's a good point, I think.
I agree with her. I mean, that's what Trump does. It's not really about actually how many people he's deporting. It's about seeming tough on illegals. So the illegals think twice about, he wants them to be afraid. He wants them to be afraid to come in here illegally and to come legally. So yes, and I think that's a good thing because, the rhetoric is more powerful than the actual deportation.
Yeah, but
same with blowing up the drug boats, same with most of what Trump does. The rhetoric is sometimes more powerful than the actual result, like the action.
Yeah, but you're saying that Trump wants people to be afraid to come here illegally. Almost all of the shit he is doing now has nothing to do with illegals. I mean, he's talking about getting rid of the Haitians, their temporary protected status. They're here legally. He's talking about what he's doing to Somalis. They're here legally. He's talking about getting rid of the Afghans. They're here legally. Most of the people he's talking about getting rid of now are all here legally.
Actually, I was gonna start the live by telling you how mad I am at you because you fucking lied to me last.
I fucking lied. What did I lie about?
The whole time you're talking about, oh, Trump is hateful. Trump hates the Somali. Trump hates the Somali. But not once did you mention why he said the things he said.
I played him fucking
talking.
Go ahead.
They were talking about this huge fraud ring that defrauded the fucking state of Minnesota's SNAP or something, or they defrauded the state of Minnesota for like $1 billion, and that's why he was mad, and that's where all that rant started from.
Okay, look, because, you think the Somalis are the only group of people that defrauded the state? I mean, you don't go off on all white people because Bernie Madoff defrauded a whole bunch of people. I mean, there's a whole lot of Somalis. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. You would agree, I submit, that many Somalis had nothing to do with what you're talking about, right?
No, but listen. There's only 180,000 of them, maybe 2 something, but like 40% of them are on welfare.
That's not defrauding.
They had a huge welfare ring that involved a ton of them defrauding the fucking state of Minnesota and Tim Walz.
You believe 40% of Somalis in Minnesota were involved in welfare fraud? 40% out of...
No, I said 40% are on welfare, which is what Google said. I think Google said like 48%.
So if you're on welfare alone, that justifies calling you garbage?
If half of your population is on welfare, yes. And I know like what the left likes to say, white people make up the most welfare recipients. Okay, but it's not half of them.
So what about the other half?
Half the people. What's 1 out of 2 Somalians you meet is on welfare.
Okay,
unemployed according to this.
So if I got a job every day working, but half of the people that came with me do not, that means all of us are garbage, including me.
I mean, hopefully everybody's working and contributing to society. That's how society fucking survives, by everybody working.
There is no group of people
if you're not contributing and you're taking out welfare and living off, other people. Then yeah,
there is no group of people.
Times, but I've never even collected any kind of welfare.
There is no group of people where everybody is working. Every category: Muslims, whites, blacks, Hispanics, Chinese.
I agree with you.
So why
half of them? Yeah, I mean, you guys keep saying that we brought them in to take these jobs, which I think you're confusing the Haitians with the Somalians when you say that. But we brought them in to take the jobs, yet half of them are unemployed.
I don't actually believe what you're. Well, first of all, I think it's even if it was half.
Google how many Somalians are on welfare.
I'd be curious to see
in the United States or in Minnesota.
Okay, I'm actually going to Google it, and like I said, I'm even if you're right, I still don't believe that justifies calling them garbage. Though, if you don't have a job, that don't make you garbage. I mean, that's a pretty strong term to throw at somebody.
No, but he was directly replying to the fact that they defrauded the state for $1 billion. They stole $1 billion, and on top of that, like I said, in the 2020 election, there was a huge controversy about the election. What's it called? Ballot harvesting within that community. That Elhan's little friend was going around harvesting like hundreds of ballots. He was on Instagram or on the Snapchat bragging how he fucking has 300 ballots in his car and showed videos of the ballots on his dash.
Well, anytime I hear election fraud claims, the first problem I have is zero prosecutions. I mean, the Trump administration and MAGA also are always talking about election fraud, but yet nobody is being prosecuted for this. I'm not saying that in a country of 300 plus million people that election fraud does not happen, but it's pretty clear that your side of the aisle makes up a lot of this stuff. I mean, you had no names at all. Nobody's getting prosecuted. I mean, Trump said that when
look into it. I mean, you earlier in the live, you were talking about that lady is in jail or got prosecuted for trying to look into election fraud, by trying to look into that machine to see what's happening. Which I don't support it. I don't think the machines were hacked, but she tried to look into election fraud and she got she's in jail. Trump has been claiming election fraud since he came down the Golden Escalator.
At some point, you got to produce. You can't keep saying I'm looking into
I know,
it.
but it's really hard to fucking investigate because elections are sacred and they're protected.
Then where the hell you getting your information from? If you can't investigate it, then what's making you say fraud is happening everywhere?
Because whenever there's a close race, every little bit of fraud counts. When it's a big win, like the last
You gotta
election,
produce. You gotta
doesn't matter.
produce. You gotta
but
produce.
when it's like a close race, like 2000 and 2020, then it matters.
And like I keep saying, you gotta produce. You can't keep claiming this stuff. And now, I mean, even when Dr. Oz was running for Senate in Pennsylvania against Fetterman, Trump was claiming election fraud. Didn't produce shit. I mean, you gotta produce. You can't keep.
Same with that lady in Georgia.
What do you mean?
It's very hard to prove.
Well, then, in other words, it's very possible you might be lying about this stuff. If it's hard to prove, then it's hard to even know if it's real or not. It's possible you may be lying. This guy's like the boy that cried wolf. Every election he's concerned with has fraud in it, and he produces nothing.
Because most of the time, it's better just to move on than to keep fucking looking into it. Because so far, everybody that tried to look into it has gotten screwed over one way or another.
You can't make these wild claims over and over and over again and say it's hard to look into it, so I can't produce nothing. If either
but there's no one trying to investigate it. Every time we say, "Hey, are you guys looking into this?" They're like, "Oh, there's no one ever got arrested for it. Why would we look into this?" Because you're not looking. It's like
that's absolutely.
Do you have to look first to catch it, or do you have to catch it first, then you could look?
That's absolutely not true. First of all, when he claimed the 2020 election was stolen, he had his own attorney general, William Barr, look into it, and the guy is quoted in his own book is saying that Trump's claims were bullshit.
How long did he spend on it, Tim?
Okay, so now it ain't looking in it. It's how long it's done. He was in it long enough to say it was bullshit.
How long he actually looked. The election was November 5th or November 6th.
Okay.
And then the results were given like a week later. And then the fraud stuff started maybe a week and a half later. And not even like, I don't even think it was a full month. It was like 2 weeks later, fucking, what's his name, quit and said he's not going to look into it, that there's no proof.
Well,
they literally barely spent like 2-3 weeks looking into it. And I really doubt they actually looked into anything.
Well, because of how it was presented. If you're saying dead people voted, and I go, well, give me some names so I can look into it, and you don't have any names, what am I supposed to do with that? That's why you're saying this bullshit.
You're the FBI. You're supposed to investigate. He's the head of the DOJ. He's supposed to actually investigate, and he's the one who's supposed to give us the proof.
But if you're saying dead people voted, give me what's making you say what city? What neighborhood?
Look, I don't believe that people voted. I don't believe the machines were hacked. I think I don't know. I don't have the proof. I wish I had the power to investigate. I would, but I don't have the proof. And if we keep going, we're gonna get fucking, All
right. Well, I'm just simply saying that the head of your Justice Department comes back and saying it's bullshit. And your response is, well, he didn't look into it long enough. I mean,
in 2 weeks and he's quit. How are you gonna find what crime can you investigate in 2 weeks? Name one crime that was investigated, open, and shut.
How hard is it to find out if a dead person voted? How hard is it to find out if the machine switched votes?
But that's not what you had to do. You had to look through all the fucking votes. You look through all the demographics, make sure the demographics make sense. You have to verify some votes. You have to interview people. You have to do a lot of work to do a legit investigation. It's never going to be like if you tell me you spent 2 weeks on any investigation, even if it was a whole month on any investigation, I'm gonna tell you to fuck off. You're lying, or you didn't fucking do your job.
Right.
And then after that,
because what you're doing,
red pill.
The reason it's taking so long to do it, based on your statement, is because I'm gonna give you a bunch of ways a person could cheat, and I want you to do an investigation to see if any of that happened. That's why it should take longer than 2 weeks, because I'm not going to really give you any information that directs you anywhere. I'm just going to tell you dead people voted, the machine. I'm going to give you a bunch of ways that it could have happened, and your job is to go investigate and see if any of that happened and come back to me with something. That's why it should take longer than 2 weeks, because you're not presenting any real data. You're actually giving him ghost stories.
That's him. It's the FBI job to look into it.
It ain't their job to investigate claims that have no merit to them.
And the worst part is, obviously Biden was in charge, and on top of that,
he's not in charge. Biden wasn't in charge. Trump.
I'm talking about after January. Like, it would take more than fucking even 2 months to look into it.
No, it doesn't. Not if you. No, it doesn't. No. If you tell me dead people voted, it doesn't take 2 months to find out if at least one person that was deceased voted. It doesn't take 2 months to come up with that when I got the entire weight of the feds behind me.
That's not what I'm trying to prove. What I'm trying to do is look through the entire election.
No, you're not.
Georgia and Pennsylvania, and see if there's any fraud. I didn't say any of that shit that you're claiming I'm saying. Yeah. I didn't say that people voted. I didn't say the machines were hacked. I don't know what happened. It could be that the election was 100% legit, but I want the fucking.
I think you are saying what you don't realize you're saying, which is I'm going to claim election fraud, and you, as my attorney general, your job is to go out and find if any of what I'm claiming is true and bring it back to me. I'm going to say that dead people voted. I need you to go check the entire rolls and make sure every vote that came in came from a live person. I don't have any real names. I just want you to chase down my claims and verify if any of this happened. That's why it takes longer than 2 weeks. It's because it ain't based on anything for real. It's just based on ways that maybe cheating could happen.
It's based on how close the election was. It's based on the fact that 12,000 votes decided the winner in Georgia and 10,000 in like Arizona. You know, it just had to be looked into. I don't have any proof. I don't have anything solid. All the little smoking guns that were available are not even available anymore because it's been 5 years. I don't even remember half of them. But it needed to be looked into because it was a close fucking election.
What I would rather look into
all these automatic recounts. A recount is not what we need. We need automatic like vote verification.
But why not complain that the election was close? When you start making specific claims, dead people voted. When you make specific claims, you got to back that up. He didn't say the election was close, so I'm concerned. He said I won by a landslide and Dominion switched votes or did. You got to back that shit up. He don't have any evidence to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this off what I saw. I don't care what Trump actually said, but Trump was a little desperate and he was grasping the straws, which I think was a big mistake.
Desperate and grasping the straws.
And January 6th was a big mistake. Because what did January 6th do? It shut down any fucking if there was an investigation, January 6th ended it and ended any possibility of a legitimate investigation into the election.
I think you're kind of when you say he was.
That was the end of it.
When you say he was
election fraud, that's the end. If you fucking even mention election fraud, you're a pariah.
I think when you said he was desperate and grasping at straws, that's a synonym for lying. Maybe he thought he won fine. So because I think I won, I'm going to start specifying every way possible somebody could cheat, and I'm going to claim that actually happened. That's grasping at straws, a.k.a. lying. I got to move it on.
Thank you, man.
Anytime. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up to 60,000, if you will. Georgia and other states recounted several times. That is true. But still no evidence of voter fraud. That is 100% true. Arizona recounted many times. I believe Michigan. And what I said in regards to that is President Trump was not looking to prove fraud. Trump was looking to win, period. He was not looking to make sure the elections were held fairly because there's a couple of things happened. He sued Pennsylvania, claiming that their COVID mail-in changes were a product of what could lead to fraud. They sued Pennsylvania to stop them from changing the way you could mail in vote because Pennsylvania said they were doing it because of the pandemic. Montana, the governor of Montana was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos during that time, and the governor was a Democrat at the time, stated, we made the same change that Pennsylvania made, but because Trump won Montana, they're not suing us. If you're claiming that what Pennsylvania did can create fraud, why aren't you going after the state you won in? President Trump was losing in North Carolina right up to the 2020 election. Biden was winning. Biden ended up losing North Carolina, which was a red state, to Trump. But Biden was winning right up until a week or two before the election. During that time, Trump was claiming there was widespread fraud in North Carolina. Once he won North Carolina, you never heard him complain about fraud in that state ever again. Even though he is now on record as saying maybe my votes came in by way of fraud. He wasn't interested in trying to make sure the election was held fairly. He was trying to win. No fraud in Texas, Florida, but there's plenty of it in Arizona and small states like Wisconsin. Huh? We're not going to investigate what's going on in Texas whatsoever. Just trying to win. If there's fraud in the state that gave me their electoral college votes, I'm not concerned with that state. I'm only concerned with the states where I lost. So, hey, listen, at the end of the day, like I said, he basically threw a bunch of shit against the wall and was hoping that some of it would stick through bar or the courts or somebody he could get to actually rule in favor of some of that stuff. He failed. And he's on the record as losing the 2020 election. And that's not going to change. History will judge that Trump lost the 2020 election and made every possible attempt to take it. 2,000 Mules, I saw that come up in the comments many times. The producers of that documentary or whatever the hell it's called, they've already admitted that stuff was not accurate. They've already admitted it, that was not any type of know-all, show-all, that Trump was cheated out of the election. And I watched 2,000 Mules like 6 times. We've done many shows on it. 2,000 Mules is not the reason 2,000 Mules is problematic is because they point out stuff that doesn't look right, that looks suspicious, or that might be cheating, but then they make the assumption that it had to be done by the Democrats, as if it's impossible for a Republican to cheat. They talk about stuffing ballots or people driving past mailboxes all times of the night and things like that. How do you know the person driving past that mailbox is not putting Republican votes in there? Well, we just believe Republicans are honest and Democrats cheat. That's not, you can't go to court with no shit like that. You got to prove what's on the ballot. You can show somebody showing up and stuffing a mailbox all night long. You don't have any actual evidence of what's on the paperwork going in that mailbox. You can't assume that it's all for the Democrats. So it is what it is. Anyway, looking in the comments, you're saying it like he created. I don't know. Just imagine this guy drawn in boondocks. His poor handling of COVID. Yes, can you read? I can read that. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen. Get us on up over the 65,000 hump, if you will. We'll continue on with the show. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but we'll go to Boost. What does that say? Boost Brave. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Always comes back with purple knees after visiting Putin. MAGA Slayer. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna leave that alone. Oh my God, Jesus. Come back with purple knees, huh? Yikes. Young Zell. Tap the screen. You suck and falling with grave sickness. Me too. Okay, Young Zell, good evening.
Good evening, my man. Good evening,
Good
man. Thanks for having me up real quick. I appreciate you.
Fair enough. What inspired you to come on?
What inspired me to come on is hearing the young gentleman before talking about assimilation. You know, those old dog whistles they like to throw out there. But the funny thing about it is whenever they're talking about assimilating, it seems that they're always pointing out what brown countries do and things of that nature, but they're never speaking of those other countries that come over here and they don't assimilate at all into the form of abiding by American traditions and things that we do as Americans.
So wait a minute. So you're suggesting that if you bring up that immigrants from certain groups come to America and they do not assimilate, that is a dog whistle of sorts. Explain.
I believe so, because a lot of these people that come over here speak better English than me a lot of times. And so it can't be about English a lot of times, or they may have an accent or look differently. And so their form of assimilation is assimilation to what they are used to, the way they're used to acting and being around people. If they act a different way, then they feel that, oh, you're not assimilating properly. And to me, that is just a dog whistle, because no one should be forced to conform to the way other people want them to act in a quote unquote free country. So we always quote that and say, hey, we're a free country. But when certain people come over here that look a certain way or act a certain way that I don't agree with, because heard that a lot from him. He was like, oh, I can agree with that. Oh, I can make amends with that. It's not about you. That's the point. It's about if you believe in this country and the values that we have and that everybody in some way or form migrated here, regardless of how they conquered or did all of that other cruel stuff, you need to understand that we need to all be equally allowed to practice the traditions we do, worship the God that we like to worship, and do things according to the way we like. But to me, it only sounded to me of what he was saying in assimilation, meaning that if you don't act the way I feel is comfortable or do the things that I like, then you're not assimilating. And to me, that those are just old dog whistles. We've heard them all before. They'll put different names, different things on top of the same old tactics to justify cruel actions against other people that don't look like you or act like you.
But they're not being cruel to the Somali population yet, are they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what this man said, that even what he just said, he was always saying all the Somali, everybody's on welfare, look it up, everybody's this. But he won't talk about the corporate structure that's been set up to force a lot of people to have to get SNAP and these welfare benefits because their employers don't provide it. He should look up and see how many employees that Walmart right now has on their payroll that are receiving SNAP and different type of benefits from the government, because the company refuses to provide it because they want to please their stockholders. So it's a big game going on right now, and it all stems from racism. I tell people all this all the time. If we don't get rid of racism in this country and quit alluding to it and acting like it doesn't exist, we're never going to get anywhere. And people have been saying this for years and years and years, that, oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, I voted for this. I voted for Obama, and I did these type of things. But you still abide by policies that doesn't create equality in our country, which is sad.
Yeah. Now I get that there are always going to be citizens that have hate in their heart. But what about are you suggesting that the commander-in-chief himself has racism in his heart?
Oh, absolutely. The way he's acted and the way he's performed. I mean, you saw exactly what happened. I'll give up a perfect example with Hegseth and the general that had to resign because he did not want to do that illegal order. He's coming in to testify soon, so do look it up.
I've heard that.
That black admiral, he'd been there for years. He put his life on the line for this country. There ain't no way that you would resign from a position like that, as high up as that is, unless it's something that you totally do not agree with. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Just like he excluded that lady, Lisa Cook, from he was targeting her. There was no other reason. The lady's perfectly qualified to be in the FTC and do all of the things that she's doing. But they always try to say, oh, she's a diverse hire or something along those lines.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up. Now, I know the admiral has been in the Navy, I think, for 40 years. So, but I'm wondering how long before they call him DEI, because he's an admiral. I mean, I'm surprised that hasn't came up in conjunction with him, that he's some kind of DEI promotion.
The funny thing about it is that in America, as a minority, we already know we have to work 10 times as hard to get in any of these positions because they're always going to put their buddies and their friends up in it, as we see now with this administration 100%. If you kiss his butt and you say, oh, I was persecuted by the last administration, you just got to bring up Biden. Biden, he persecuted me so bad. You'll get a pardon. You maybe even get some money and stuff dropped into your account or something like that. Because that's what this man is on, praising. And that's what kings get. That's why people say no kings and all this stuff, and why it's so relevant is because that's how kings act. They want constant praise and worship in order to get the things that you want or even deserve. You see how he wants people to bow down and beg for SNAP benefits and stuff. He's still in there in court battling it right now on not trying to give out the full amount when they could shift money around, send 40 billion to Argentina and send money all over. That's why anytime minorities want something, what's the first thing that comes out of every person who is not of colored descent in this country? What's the first thing they say? We ain't got the money. But whenever it's something that they want or they feel comfortable with, like him bringing all those South Africans over here for no damn reason, talking about they persecuted, none of them were persecuted.
Yeah, but you listen, they're going to bring up, it was only 59 white South Afrikaners. There's millions of immigrants coming over.
No, it was 89,000. 8,900 of them he brought over here.
Was that the total? I thought it was only 59. So there was a total of 8,900 South Africans that came here?
Put them on, put them on the list, my man. I mean, this is what I'm saying is going on right now. And we have MAGA denial going on right now. That's what's going on. They had a lot of people. Now they're saying, oh, I mistaked my vote. I don't go. That doesn't mean that you change from your ideals and what he stood for. And what he stands for is division. He's the most divisive president that we've ever had in this nation. And it's terrible that people don't want to see that because they want to play the fence.
But how do you respond to folks who suggest, listen, they understand Trump having a chip on his shoulder or being divisive because they believe that the liberals were constantly trying to impeach him, trying to arrest him, trying to prevent him from getting reelected. They were on his back the whole time. How do you respond to folks who say, I understand if I went through what Trump went through, I would be after people too? How do you respond to that?
I would say, first off, he's alluding to the point that you're the president of the United States and you're all bent on parties and all that stuff. You're not thinking about that. There's a lot of people out here that don't think about that stuff. And he's all stuck on, Democrat, Republican, and all this division stuff. That's where I go back to. He is the most divisive president ever because anytime something comes up, what does he do? He shifts the blame. Never once, I don't even think one time since he's been president in this new administration, even in any administration, that he's actually taken accountability for something that they did.
What have they done that you believe Trump should have taken accountability for and didn't? What have they done wrong? COVID, what he did after, C-19, what he did after that, and the way he operated with that, never took any accountability for anything that went on with that. To say that, to first shift it, to be on board talking about Starship, whatever he called it, Operation Warp Speed, to get the vaccines out there. He was all on board with that. Then you do 180 degrees. So after you make it, you get it out there, it's ready. You do a 180 degree turn and say, oh, it's bad, it doesn't work, don't do it. What the heck? Well, no, he didn't say Operation Warp Speed was bad, did he?
Not bad. He's talking about the thing that Operation Warp Speed created. Okay, what was it to create? It was to create something to battle something that we were all going through. Listen. He shifted his mind state 180 degrees and says, oh, no, it's bad. Had everybody confused. And what did he do? Divide the nation.
Listen, he wasn't. I'm not going to pretend like Trump's handling of COVID was anything short of dismal, but did he speak bad or ill of the vax? He didn't promote it, but he didn't tell people not to get it, did he?
He did 180. You can look at this man's clip. I'm trying to tell you of how he shifted his position to where, yes, slowly over time, he was not promoting it, not saying anything.
Okay.
Then he's like, no, it's bad. It's not good. No, don't get it, or anything like that. He jumped on the train. Whatever train is out there that he sees is rolling, and he's like, ooh, I better get on this train because I don't want to be missed. He'll jump on that train, just like he did with the Epstein, with the files. He jumps on the train when he knows, ooh, if I don't get on this train, I'm going to look bad. That's all he does. But at the end of the day,
listen, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to disagree that he's an opportunist type kind of guy, but I don't know if I recall the pandemic the way you're saying. I think that when he rolled out the vax, his stance on it was, I'm not going to force you to take it. He didn't speak favorably of it. I agree with you there, but he wasn't telling people he wasn't like, many on the right that was talking about it was poison and stuff like that. He never took that approach. He just didn't promote his own vax because Operation Warp Speed, that is his vax.
Well, no, at the beginning, yes, but I mean over time. And what that means is total division. I mean, how are you going to get behind something that our government, which you were in control of at the time, mind you, he was in control of it. They put billions of dollars behind that program. To not stay with it and act like there's something wrong with it, he put more distrust into our own government. You got to see how that works. It's all psychological.
I do agree with that. I do agree with him not him not promoting his own vax is going to put distrust. I do agree with that part.
Right. And if you think it's that bad, then why are you releasing it?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? If you don't think it's strong enough that, hey, we need to get this out and everybody needs to do it, and you're not up on that stand and everything, you're hesitant, you want to stand back because a lot of people in his base were against it. Look at RFK and all those different people. They were against vaccines completely. Any of them. That none of them were.
In the comments,
Okay.
in the comments, and I don't know if I recall this, I'd have to go look it up, but Dr. Black says, go look at his comments on the vaccine. Trump spoke out against it and had his own doctor and lawyer do it. I don't recall that. I don't recall him being actively against the vax. I know he wasn't for it, but his stance I thought was, look, if you want it, you can get it. I'm not going to force you to do it. That's what I thought.
Man, Fauci was on the man's team and he threw the man under the bus when he was going with everything that Fauci said. When I say does not take accountability and be like, you know what, I made a mistake. He can't even say that. And that's what I'm saying on what he's teaching our youth. I've had a lot of people say that, like, dang, it's hard for me to support this guy because how can I tell my son that it's okay to speak to women like that and call them piggy and all this stuff in professional sense? How can you support this? And I keep trying to tell him it has been this way since the beginning in this country that sadly, my white brothers and sisters will not take accountability for what they did. They always want to point the finger at everybody else. Right now, migrants are the problem because I don't have a job and I don't have things. Instead of blaming the robots and all these billionaires that's pumping money into stuff that has nothing to do with us. If they pump that same amount of money into our communities, it will look beautiful in this nation like in all the other ones that are doing that.
Right, I gotta push back on you in the worst sort of way.
Please do.
And I'm sure I'm going to be accused of fluffing and probably hated on by many of my minority listeners. By the way, folks, help your boy get that TikTok cap goal. Feel free to do so. You mentioned the way whites talk. You suggested Trump is teaching kids they can talk to women any kind of way and things like that. As a person of color yourself, an African, you realize how we talk to each other in our own communities? Whether it's the N-word, whether it's bitches and hoes. I mean, you realize how we do what we do amongst each other?
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you pushed back on that because I always tell people that who owns all this stuff that pushes it out? That's the thing. I don't know. See, we do that on the bottom scale now because we've already been brainwashed and conditioned for that.
In 2025, you're brainwashed to talk down on your own people?
Oh, no. I'm saying that the way all this music and everything that's pumped out and everything like that, we do not have any minority distributors that are able to distribute this stuff on a massive scale to make people popular, to do all of that. So if we don't put accountability to where that's at, I'm telling you right now, and you know this.
You don't believe with all the internet stuff that's available that there's not enough African Americans distributing music. That you got to. What we say on our music is our fault. You're blaming outside influences for what African Americans put on their music?
No, because they know what they push. They know what they could push out there if they wanted to. I'm talking about on a massive scale. These people are like the bottom scale people who get a few views here and stuff like that. That's how it works. It trickles down. But I'm talking about these big time performers who are at the top. The music and the influence and stuff that they want out here, they'll push it out there because they have the money and the finances to do it. Now, anytime we want to start something that's just minority owned and is backed by us and we're pushing it, a lot of times it's not influenced the way it should be. And that's a sad thing on our people. I'm always quick to point fingers at our people, but we got to look at who's at the top, who's in control of all this, who controls all the media. We don't even have one minority that owns a data center.
I don't know, because when I look at, now I know BET, for instance, is no longer owned by blacks, but when it was owned by blacks, they still played the most vile stuff. They didn't produce positive messages. They still played awful stuff. Stuff that's owned by blacks, we still play the N-word and the bitches and hoes. We do it amongst each other. It ain't that the white man is making us do that. We do it amongst each other.
What I say is this, is that it's easy to point fingers at where we're at right now, but not look at how do we get to this position and how do we change it? Because at the end of the day, we're not putting that stuff out though, like that on a massive scale. They're doing that because of capitalism and because it makes money. I get that. But at the end of the day, they even know of what's wrong and poisoning. But they're like, hey, the people want it, the people need it. But we're finding out that a lot of these so-called quote unquote people are bots from other countries and all this stuff, pumping up streams and stuff that low key we don't even really like. You know what I mean? And when we do like an artist that starts really getting really big and really get up there, they try to diminish them and squash them down and stuff like that. It's a positive message, man.
It's hard to buy that in 2025. Young, I'm just gonna say when you get going back to even the 90s, Master P was putting his own shit out. Jay-Z putting his own shit out. Dre they can put, you don't have to depend on the white man anymore. You know, the Jewish community, they often control the record and the entertainment industry. This is not the day of, you know, Rob Bass and folks like that in the 80s and Run DMC. The African-American community now has a hell of a lot of control of their own music, the rights, the production, and all of that. And the music is still negative and all of that because that's what sells. They're not trying to put out a positive message. They're trying to put out what people are going to buy.
I'll push back against that a little bit because I can agree that, yeah, Master P and those people, they had record labels at the time, but they were not the distributors. They were not the people who pushed it out. And when you talk about what songs got popular and put on the radio,
they're mixtapes. They're selling you out of the. He started out selling mixtapes out of the trunk of his car. That shit wasn't positive.
Trust me, Silk the Shocker, I know about them 100%. But what I'm saying is, when he got to the top scale, and he will say it now, that's why he backed out of rap. So you got to understand of why he's not producing anymore. He even told you it's a rigged game against us because they pick what they want to push on a massive scale. And at the end of the day, there was a time where they tried to make us look good. They didn't try to make us look better. But we're at a time right now that the goal is not to make us look good, it's to make us look bad. And if we can't switch that narrative by letting people know that, look, we're on to your game, man. We're tired of this shit. We're tired of looking bad. Quit pumping out these top #1 songs that you guys like at a boardroom executive table where we ain't even at it a lot of the times. Let's just keep it real. The artists ain't even involved in a lot of this. It's just one of their songs that they made and they're like, ooh, this one will be good. And they push it out. But what I'm saying is here, I'm not blaming anyone. We always have to take personal accountability.
Thank you.
But that's where I push it back on them, that they're the ones. They never take accountability on their side. We're always like, yeah, we need to clean up our community. We need to do this and do that. Not understanding that we don't have any control over none of this stuff. None of the money, none of this stuff. Government, we don't control none of the laws. We don't control none of that. Name me one law that an African American has put forward and it got passed.
No, I'm talking all of these black mayors. They don't have any control over their towns at all. Most of out of the top 10 largest cities in America, there's a large chunk of them that are ran by black mayors.
That's like saying the quarterback has control over things when you know there's an owner.
So he has no influence at all. You don't call the plays or anything.
Listen, the mayor and them have plays, and they call plays at a lower level. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't fight at your local level, state level, any level. I'm just saying, look at where the power lies right now. We're outgunned, everyone. We need to point our fingers back at them and be like, look, it's time to improve our communities. It's time to stop allowing these rich, ultra-rich people to keep stifling money from their workers and forcing people to go on these SNAP and government programs. Because that's what's going on. And my thing is, until we point that out, that governors have a majority of control over a lot of these mayors. That's why a lot of these states like Tennessee and all these other ones who have these governors that aren't putting resources to those.
I gotta move it on, but I don't know. I think you may be putting too much on the white man. I think we're responsible. I don't think in 2025 we're completely powerless as you're making it sound. Like we just
No, I would never say we're powerless. We've never been powerless. As a matter of fact, we're at the most powerful point we've ever been. But I will say that in order to improve communities for all, this goes for white, black, doesn't matter what race you are. you have to understand that you got to improve the quality of those at the bottom first. Right. And with too much time, they've been looking at the people at the top. Let's just keep it real. The top has been satisfied during C-19, all that. They made the most ever. But anytime you point out that it's time for you guys to start paying us back down here at the bottom, you're looked at as wrong and bad. And
I don't disagree. But good luck with that. I do got to move it on. I don't know if you're ever going to get people to hold the top accountable first. Appreciate it. Anytime. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 90. Thank you to my last caller. Real quick in the comments, whites are at the bottom too. Yeah, but the whites at the bottom are defending the top, like my last caller said. You talk to most poor whites, they're talking about we need to not give an increase on minimum wage. We don't have to have universal health care, but you should not have a freeze on how much a millionaire or a billionaire can earn. So even whites at the bottom are often very defensive of those at the top and very critical of those at the bottom. So, but looking in the comments, dude is just lost, says Willie G. The whole conversation wasn't necessary. Sorry, says me too. Well, sometimes things spin off. But what I want to ask you folks is what I asked at the beginning of the live stream, getting back on topic, in regards to these vessels being blown up off the coast of Venezuela. A whole lot of my folks on the right, my beloved MAGA, favors what Trump is doing. They believe President Trump is defending American shores from harmful narcotics such as fentanyl from entering this country. So be it. What I asked, and I use shows like Banged Up Abroad, another show called Locked Up Abroad, which I believe used to be on Nat Geo. It may be still on it. You can go on YouTube and type Locked Up Abroad or Banged Up Abroad and watch tons of episodes. This program featured Americans crossing international borders and being caught smuggling drugs. The show was called Locked Up Abroad because they would be going abroad and they end up getting locked up after being caught smuggling drugs in another country, usually for money purposes. Some drug dealer or something like that promises you can make money if you just carry this package or this suitcase or whatever the case may be into this other country. What I'm asking you folks is, I'm inspired by what's happening to the Venezuelan boats when I ask this. If another country told our embassy in that country, we just caught a couple of your citizens smuggling drugs into our country, and unfortunately, we have already executed them at the airport. They didn't get any due process, and because there's an ongoing investigation, we cannot prove to you that they had narcotics in their possession at all. Would we be okay with that? If another country was trying to prevent harmful drugs, be okay with them taking the exact same no-nonsense approach that we are taking towards Venezuela? We caught some Americans at the airport, ran a routine background check on them. The guy seemed nervous. We had him do an x-ray. We seen 22 vials of drugs in his intestines. At that time, 1 round to the temple. He was executed at the airport. But they don't tell you they seen it on an x-ray. They don't even tell you any evidence whatsoever that they found drugs. They just tell you somebody had drugs on them, and we have since executed them. There was no due process. There was no opportunity for the individual to defend himself in a court of law, anything whatsoever. They're telling you they found drugs. They're telling you they solved it by executing them. Period. Would we support that? Would we be okay with that? Would that be acceptable if other countries did the exact same thing that Americans are doing off the coast of Venezuela? So asking you folks that, because that is what we're doing. Looking in the comments, no Marines would storm the country. Wow. Diane. So Diane, you're suggesting that if someone did to us what we're doing to Venezuela, would invade the country. Damn. Singapore has that in force. Sometimes something as simple as Advil counts. Dozens of countries do it. No, there is no country. What is the name there? Gorbat. I can't pronounce that. I don't know what the name says. There is no country on earth that executes you immediately for possession of drugs. That is not true. There is no American citizen that has ever been executed in any other country on the spot for possessing narcotics. Now, there are countries that do have the death penalty for possessing narcotics. I know when I used to travel overseas, when I would leave Australia, they would tell you if you go to this country with drugs, they can kill you. It would be written all throughout customs. I don't know if they do that in America, but they did it in Australia. But even when that happens, when you are in custody, they will notify the U.S. Embassy, and it doesn't happen immediately. Who knows, week, year, month, I don't know how long, but it doesn't happen immediately. They don't catch you with the drugs and kill you immediately. You do get some sort of due process and the right to attempt to defend yourself. They don't just kill you. No country on earth does that. So America right now is the only country that's murdering people on the spot for possession of narcotics. But the question is, will we accept that if somebody did it to one of ours? Let me go to the box. Somebody called him out. Gangsta Grandma. I see in the comments, Ronaldo Daniel says, I can't wait for Gangsta Grandma. You kill me sometimes, Tim. Gangsta Grandma, you called for it? Gangsta Grandma it is. Good afternoon, Gangsta.
You fucking ass, fluffy ass mofo, you. I tell you.
What the fuck did I do? What did I do?
I was doing something for the white man. What the fuck, Tim? You know, not one damn day I can come on here and say, hey, Tim, I like your little buttercup looking ass. No, I can't do that. Because I got to be... Because you be doing off the law chain and doing something for the white man, man. You know what push back. You know that MAGA reacts, the little cockroach? You need to really push back. You need to tell him, show the fucking proof or shut the fuck up. That's what you really do need to do.
Why would you refer to MAGA as a cockroach?
The snow roaches.
What the hell is a snow roach? You do realize what you're saying
you
has a
snow bunnies, right? And I can't stand you insulting the snow bunny. So I call them snow roaches because snow bunnies are fucking cute as hell and they fluffy.
Yes.
Unlike the snow roaches.
Yes, indeed. Some snow bunnies are cute as hell. I do agree with that.
No, they really not. They fucking ugly. They tore it from the floor up.
You just said they were cute.
So bad to be black.
You just said.
You know what though, Tim? You know those little Somalis or whatever? I don't want to butcher their name, but Somalis.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. They voted for this shit. FAFO, bitches.
You're saying the Somali community voted for Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They said they love them some Trump. Oh, he's going to be doing good for our community. He didn't like the LGBTQ. Well, FAFO, bitches.
I was not aware of that. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Wow. Any idea what
now they're on here crying like, oh, United States promised us land. No, bitch. This land wasn't yours. You're not, like a couple said that they came up on TikTok and said they're indigenous to this land. Where?
I was not aware. So more of them voted for Trump than Kamala Harris?
Yeah, they wanted him. So FAFO, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
So that goes back to what I normally tell you, and you don't like hearing it, but maybe she was a really bad candidate.
Okay, you fucking fruit loop looking bitch.
What the hell?
I'm so tired of your gagging fucking ass saying that she wasn't good. Yes, she was.
How could she be a good candidate?
I just want to be in this fucking situation. Everybody get kicked out. Do you know they have a bill now in Congress? They want to take people's dual citizenship away?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So shut your ass up. Quit being on your fucking Eastern white man. Quit getting a dick up your ass without a condom. Okay? You're being fucked without lube.
Okay, apparently the program don't like you. He restricted our visibility. No, let me say something. Anytime you got a black woman running and the black people vote for the other dude, that does say that she's not a great candidate, right?
No, that doesn't. No, it does not.
Come on
because
now.
You know what? Half the asses, the little fucking rowdy raccoonies, half the asses didn't think she was black enough. We do came have a problem in our fucking community that you're not black enough, or like me, I'm light skinned. I look white. I do. Oh, I'm not black enough. Well, I came from a black man's nutsack, okay?
Gone Fishing in the comments says that's a piece of trash woman. I don't know if he's talking about Kamala or you, but he doesn't like some woman apparently. Let me know in the comments, Gone Fishing. What'd you say?
Your mama is. That's why you don't know who your daddy is. Could be your cousin that your mama married.
Jesus. I'm just simply saying.
That's why I call them roaches. That's why I call them snow roaches. I call them corn monkeys. I do it all, honey. I don't give a fuck. They white asses ain't gonna beat my ass. Cause I promise you I'll put them on a damn t-shirt. See, we're not our ancestors. Honey, we come back and we come back hard. So fuck around and find out fucking with me.
Look, I'm okay with you talking about snow bunnies. I'm okay with that. But the rest of this stuff, I just think that some of the stuff you say about white Americans is racist.
I don't give a fuck what you think, you dumb fuck. Let me tell you something. You are on your knees for the white man. You pander to the white man. You always do. You to the white man. And they kick you off their live and every damn thing. Shut the fuck up, Tim.
I want you to.
I got more balls than you, like I always tell you. I got more balls and I got a damn coochie. Thank you.
What do you identify as with testicles and a coochie?
What are you talking about? I said I act like I have bigger balls. And you know what I'm talking about. Shut the fuck up, Tim.
Okay.
I'm a fucking female all fucking day, but I will rough a bitch up though. You got more testosterone in me than you got in you. You're more femboy.
What the hell? How about this? Bub in the comments says, I'm so confused by both of y'all. Says Gangsta Grandma is a racist liberal and you have a MAGA hat.
Racist. See, let me tell you something. See, this is what they don't like. You know, they don't like black folks coming and giving them tenfold right back to their sorry fucking white tea asses, the little roaches. You know what I mean? They don't like all that. They don't like that when we spit facts. They don't like that. Oh, it's called racist. Well, give it up, bitch. For one, we really cannot be racist because we don't make it. We don't have the power like they can. They made racist. They made that.
No. You're telling
They
racist.
Yes, they did.
You're telling me
the color and every damn thing else. Yes, I did.
Listen, I didn't make cars, but I can drive one. You're telling me that black people cannot be racist. That's crazy.
They can be bigoted. They can be
racist.
They can be prejudiced.
They can be
racist. They cannot be racist because we don't have the power. We do not have the power.
Racism is not about power.
Yes, it is. Oh my fucking God! See, your mama dropped you on your head fucking a few times. Oh, your daddy punched you in your head because you are just the dumbest fucking liberal I ever did fucking see. No offense, but you are. That's why they cakewalk your fucking black ass. That's why they cakewalk you. Okay? That's why they treat you like shit on your thing. And I try my fucking best to be nice, but I have to walk your fucking ass too because you are fucking special, Tim. You're special.
Okay. I'm under the impression, and I see a few folks in the comments are agreeing with you that racism is about power. I'm assuming that
racism is about power.
I am under the impression.
Racism is about, Tim? Is it about the long dicks? Is it, Tim? What the fuck do you think power it is?
Racism
What do you think racism is, Tim?
Hate.
Come on. I know your ass graduated.
Hate. Racism is about hate.
Oh my fucking goddamn God, Tim! I mean, I'm so done.
So let me. Okay, wait. Let's.
Uneducated comes on both fucking damn sides. It's the power, Tim.
Okay.
It is about hate, but it's the power behind the hate.
What if you're white and you have no power? Then you can't be racist.
Oh, they got fucking power. All white people got the power.
What are you?
All white people have power. Yes. It's just how they fucking use their power. There's like our allies. Some of our allies, they use their white privilege to fight against it, Tim. I swear to God, I don't know. You're like Uncle Ruckus or something. I swear to God, you undercover maggot. You need some raid up in your shit.
Ray, Kathleen Hallahan, appreciate the support. Thank you, Kathleen. Wait a minute. When you say it's about power, then, so you're telling me some white person that is homeless, has no job or anything, they can be. They have power.
Oh my God, Tim, you're just so dumb sometimes. Just drop the shit, Tim. You know, going over you like it went through your nutsack and every damn thing else, Tim. You're never gonna get it because you know why? Because you're
not making sense. Is why I'm not getting it.
Yes, I that's what power is. The white man always has power, Tim.
No, they don't.
Always. Yes, they do. Okay, Tim. Okay, Tim. Okay.
So
you know
someone,
what all
wait
you-
a minute.
You know what all you stupid fuck. That's why you get dog walked, right?
So
That's
you're
why. That's why you go on your fucking knees, Tim. You're on your knees like a little bitch boy.
so you're
Because
telling
they
me
do have power.
you're telling me
White men have the white man has power, Tim.
so you're
They got the
hang on,
power.
let me talk to you. So you're telling
No,
me
because you're too stupid. You can't have a legit conversation. Oh no, anybody could be racist. Where do we have power at, Tim? Where?
I'm trying to speak. You're just talking on and on. You're blabbing it. You're blabbing at this point. So
I'm
you're
blabbing. I got more of truth than you. You know what, Tim? That's why your platform. That's why they do not gift you.
did they take her off?
You know I'm not dropped. You be doing the most, Tim. You came to the white man. Now you're over here saying they don't have power. Oh, you dumb fuck. Oh my God. Okay. I'm just talk, Tim, talk, because I'm about to go to the fucking shit. You think I'm going ham now? Give me 5 for one dude.
Okay, Kathleen Hallahan, appreciate it. So what I'm asking you here is, you're telling me that a white person that is homeless, doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, has power, but someone like Oprah Winfrey, who has what 3 billion now? You're telling me the person with no income because of their skin color is more powerful than someone like Oprah Winfrey?
That's not the shit that went. You know what, Tim? It went through your fucking nuts on the fucking floor. It went through your fucking ears.
You didn't answer the
You
question.
don't get. It's different kinds of power, Tim. Different kinds of power.
So did-
Okay, the white man has more power than we do, Tim.
Can Oprah Winfrey be racist? She's a black woman. Can she be racist?
Oh my God, she doesn't have power like you think she does. She's not like what you think she does. It's a different kind of power, Tim.
So-
but you know what? Go ahead. Believe what the fuck you
So
want.
in other words-
dog you want up your fucking ass.
So in other words, Oprah Winfrey cannot be racist.
Black people cannot be
That's
racist.
insane.
We could be hatred. We could be bigot. We could do that kind of shit. But we do not have the power in the United States of America. Pookie, Ray, dipshit.
I think
You
what
ready?
you
Fucking ready, raccoon?
I think she can get you taken off air. She can get you kicked out of a gated
really
community.
can't,
She
though,
can,
Tim.
the idea that she doesn't have power is
She really
insane.
can't, Tim.
It's insane.
She really can't, Tim. No, she can't. You see what Donald Trump is doing? Taking people the fuck off? She can't do that. You think she really got that? God damn, I swear to God, ignorance. You know what, Tim? I know you're not fucking pro-black because you're not even fucking educated. You let people call you colored, the N-word. You say black still. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't even get you. Are you black?
I don't. I'm
You say
just.
blacks, for God's sake. You don't say black people. You say blacks. Like, what the fuck is it with you? You are truly Uncle Ruckus undercover.
Saying blacks is wrong.
Yes. It's black people. Nuts.
Would it make you feel more comfortable if I just said the N-word?
Oh my fucking God. Say the N-word with me. I'll smack the teeth out your fucking head.
I don't get you. I think that you're just.
I know you don't.
I believe
know
you
don't,
just
because
have
you-
blind
because
hate.
you're not- Oh yeah, you know you don't say blacks. You say black people. For God, I swear to God. And you're a black man. This is insane. This is fucking insane.
I think
Did
you just have.
What were you? You're from Chicago?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Really? Oh my fucking God. I don't get you. You don't say blacks. You say black people.
I think you
don't-
just have. I think you have a sufficient amount of blind racial hatred for white people. I believe you do.
Okay, let me tell you something, Tim. See, I'm not like you. I will never bow down to the knee to the white man. What they're doing right now, the white man's doing to us, You want me to say, oh, let's do kumbaya, not be slick shit back to their fucking asses? Get me the fuck out of here. I'm never going to bow down and put cock in my mouth and say, yes, master, and get the whips and be a house ninja like you.
Let me see how the hold on. Let me see how the audience let me see how the audience responds to you. Let me see how the audience responds. Maybe I'm wrong and you're right about this. By way of yes or no in the audience, I want you guys to let me know, can black people be racist? Yes or no? Simple question. Can a black person be racist? The white people
will say yes. Watch. Oh my God.
I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Can black people be racist? Yeah, but
white people. With white people, dumb fuck. You dumb nuts.
It ain't all white people. Gangsta grandma.
We are not racist like that. We don't have the power. Where's the power at, Tim? If we had the goddamn power, then why is our shit being stripped away from us? If we had the fucking power, Tim, why? Why does he want to take hate?
Because he's the president right now. I think you're splitting hairs here.
Where is it at, Tim?
What are you talking about? I see a lot of folks are saying yes.
I said, where's the power at, Tim? Where's the power at?
What about hate?
Oh my God.
What about hate?
Tim, you know what, Tim? You're so fucking white. I see why they disrespect your ass.
What the hell?
I see why they disrespect you, Tim. You are like, you're not even educated like that. You're really not. And that's sad. You're fucking 56 years old, 300 fucking pounds.
56?
And you're not or whatever, 56. Whatever.
56, goddamn.
You're fucking old as shit. If you don't come in. Yeah, whatever, dude.
When did I become 56? Shit. Okay, all right, listen. I'll end it by saying you're wrong, but I got to move it on.
I'm wrong?
Yes.
You know, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you how wrong I am. You know what? You over here saying that my fucking ass is always racist to the white man, but the white man be doing everything in his goddamn comments, everything calling you boy and shit, and we're the ones that are doing it and coming out back out their asses, and you allow the shit. You don't push back on the racist ass people, white people, on your platform. You do not. We could be prejudiced or we could be bigot, but not big or whatever the shit that's called. But we cannot be racist because we do not have the goddamn power. Look this shit up, Jam, and call us blacks and see what it says too, you dumb nuts. And if you're 52, you're still fucking old.
Oh my Lord. I gotta go. Thank you.
Bye.
That was not easy. Okay, what I want to do, Jesus, I can't believe we're going to be talking about this real quick. But what I did was I looked up the definition on Google. That's what I was doing as she instructed. Because I asked the question, can blacks be racist? There were some folks in the comments, like for instance, Shelton says she's right. So I think I'm reading the name right. But anyhow, somebody says you look good for 56. I am not 56. I'm not 56. Wow. Anyway, she's not even mature enough to make a point without name calling. Well, that's kind of what we elected. Okay, here we go. This is the definition for racist. This is what I got on Google. It can either be an adjective or a noun. The adjective definition, characterized by showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Now, you notice it didn't say nothing about power as she's talking about. That's not in the adjective version. Simply says characterized by showing prejudice. So for all of those folks who suggest that blacks can't be racist, but they can be prejudiced, here's a definition where it makes it clear simply showing prejudice is part of being a racist. It says characterized by showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism, which means, cracker and all, antagonizing. A lot of folks call people names and shit, antagonizing. Or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial group. So adjective, from an adjective standpoint, there's no reason in hell to believe that black people cannot be racist. Okay, here's the noun. Here is the noun version. And real quick in the comments, I always love the funny comments. Luna's Slowdon says a white dictionary, Tim. All right, so what? Black people define words differently. Show me, direct me where to go. Does the NAACP have their own dictionary? Tell me where to look up on the internet where I'll get the definition of racism from a black person's standpoint, and then tell me how that's not biased. But anyway, here's the noun version of this. A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic. I'm having a Biden moment. Let me read that again. A person who is prejudiced. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jovial. You guys are getting me close to that TikTok cap goal. I know I may never reach it with some of these Negroes in here who don't like how I'm defining racist. But here we go. A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic towards people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. Typically one that is minority or marginalized. Nothing about power in none of those definitions. You don't have to be in a position of power. Just antagonizing people, damn it. Bama Landscaper, shout out to you. Appreciate that. So the idea that blacks cannot be racist because they're not in a position of power goes against the actual definition of racism. Now, I guess the next thing I would do is shout out to your mama Clark. Appreciate that. Before we go to the next caller, because I'm sure that I'm probably upsetting, for lack of a better term, I'm probably upsetting a few African Americans. Listen, if I thought that it was true that you couldn't be racist as a black person, I would say that, but that doesn't appear to be so. And I don't understand why people think that, but real quick, I went to dictionary.com to get away from Google. I just want to see if there's a different definition here. A person who believes, this is their noun version, a person who believes in racism, the doctrine that one's own racial group is superior or that a particular racial group is inferior to the others. So that's almost like supremacy from a supremacist standpoint. But it's still not talking about power, as many folks stated. It's not talking about power. Who wrote the damn dictionary, says Cali Valentino. I don't know who wrote the dictionary, which is why I went from Google to dictionary.com to see if there was a different definition. And their adjective says of or like racist or racism. So I don't know. Is there a dictionary that's written by black people? Let me know. But I'm not seeing what is Webster's site? I'll be curious before I go to the next caller, because I get this every time we do this, where people suggest that blacks cannot be racist. I'm just not seeing it. Webster's definition, meaning of racism, is of relating to. It's just nowhere out there suggesting that you got to have power to be racist. And I don't believe you do. I don't believe you do. I see folks like Karens and things like that called racist all the time, and what they're doing has nothing to do with having power. I don't want you in this neighborhood, or the police. I mean, there's so many things you can do to African Americans that we will yell racism that has nothing to do with power. But for some reason, if we do it to others, it suddenly does not become racist. I don't know. Anyway, let me go back to the box, because I'm getting hammered, obviously, for this one. But look, this is a free speech program. When I say you can speak in an uncensored format, that also includes yours truly. So if you disagree, feel free to come up and we'll certainly discuss it. But it is what it is. Let me go back to the box. Stick the ruler. Grown man with a pick of Trump in his house. What the fuck? Would it make you feel better if I put Kamala Harris up as a grown man? Perhaps President Obama? Or perhaps the other former president. Listen, they're up because they're the current people in power. The minute that changes, you may see Gavin Newsom. So don't know what happened with my last caller, but appreciate the hat mustache. Whoever just sent that, I'll go back to the box. C. Osby, thank you. Tim, you lost the ability to be racist when Obama left office. I don't believe Obama. Listen, they were right after the Civil War when blacks gained freedom, and Abraham Lincoln left Union soldiers in the South, kind of like we left American soldiers in Afghanistan right after we left there. It kept the Taliban at bay, and women were free for a certain period of time until we withdrew completely, and the Taliban went right back to abusing women. What happened here in this country, when we defeated the South in the Civil War, Union soldiers were left in the South to keep the racist white people at bay. During that time, you had black politicians. So when you talk about Obama, no, you had black politicians before Obama. They weren't president, but they were in various forms of politics throughout the South. And then the minute the Union soldiers were withdrawn from the South, the racists came back, Jim Crow, and all of the awful shit took place. But while those Union soldiers were there, just like how the American GIs were in Afghanistan, it stopped them from doing what they really wanted to do. So I don't believe Obama being president eliminates racism. I don't believe that. I mean, because there were a lot of whites that worked with Martin Luther King as well. That didn't eliminate racism. A lot of whites helped vote in Obama. That doesn't eliminate it. Looking in the comments, Go Cry. Oh, he's talking to each other. Lincoln would be rolling over in his grave right now. There's a lot of folks that would be. I don't think Martin Luther King would be sleeping well. I don't even think fucking Ronald Reagan would be sleeping well right now. So a lot of folks that would be rolling over in their graves right now. Let me go back to the box, continuing on. I don't know what happened with my last caller, but we will go back to the box. Now I want to hear this. I want to, Takesha.
What's going on, Run DMT?
Thank you. Appreciate it. That sounds a lot better than the opener from my last call.
Chain around your neck, look like you're ready to rap and sing rock this way. Yeah, come on, my boy.
Well, at least I can maintain my black card that way, can I not?
Well, let me change that. Now, white DMC. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
Wait a minute. Are you also one that believes that blacks cannot be racist?
Huh?
With my last caller suggesting that blacks cannot be racist. Do you agree with that?
Well, the reason they said is because we can't be racist when it comes to social construct. Because we've never been the dominant race in socialism. You know, with stuff like that. That's why we can't be racist when it comes to social construct.
Okay, but you're saying, but at least you are limiting it down to a certain area. You're not saying overall blacks can't be racist, though, right?
No, we could be racist and prejudiced.
Yeah.
Because we could be racist against our own people. Okay. So, yeah.
All right, fair enough. I took a beating from my last caller and many in the audience, many in the viewership, in the comments saying the same thing. And I could.
Well, you always take a beating, Tim. You should be used to it by now.
I don't like taking a beating.
We might just call you Kunta Kinte.
Oh my God. These are black people doing it, though.
Because you stay getting beat. Tim, look. We ain't going to talk about how black you ain't no more. Now, let's get on with the question.
Fuck. What do you mean how black I ain't no more? What the hell is that?
We pulled your black car a long time ago, Tim.
How did I lose it? What did I do?
Tim, you ain't what you used to. You ain't the man you used to be. Just because you're sitting up there with your skin looking like us, Tim, we got to treat you like the Somalian people who got up and now you throwing their ass out the damn country. See, they're another A with it looks.
I didn't do that, though. But I didn't do that.
I understand, Tim. I'm just playing with you, Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
I voted for the bad candidate.
Let me tell you something, motherfucker. I done told you to quit talking about that lady. And let me say this too, Tim. Let me say this too. I didn't like that shade you just throw at Biden either.
What shade?
When you tripped over your word, something, I'm sounding like Joe Biden. Don't do no shit like that.
Having a Biden moment?
Leave him alone.
I'm not messing with him.
That man trying to recover and live the rest of his life in the best health he can. Leave that man alone.
I'm not messing with him.
If that's the case, I'm finna start snoring on your live because my name Donald Trump.
Okay.
How about that?
All right. Well, listen.
He ain't been woke in 5 days and 5 press conferences. He keep dozing. I'm about to call him the 7th dwarf. Sleepy.
Well, let me say this. I had one of my MAGA friends tell me when I brought up the fact that they called Biden Sleepy Joe, but they're ignoring Trump falling asleep during press conferences, he brought up, but Trump is the hardest working president we've ever had compared to Biden.
Shit. What he working hard on? Sleeping, lying, giving pardons out. What he working hard on, Tim?
Well, he's trying to end multiple wars simultaneously.
You the bastard I'm talking about. See, you the fluffing bastard. That man is not working hard, number one. That man is sleeping because he old as fuck. Just like they tried to do Joe Biden. Stop making excuses for Donald Trump. Every press conference for the past 5 days, he dozed it off. Give him some no-doze.
But think about what you just said. You said every press conference for the last 5 days. When have you seen President Biden give 5 press conferences in 5 days?
The man ain't doing that but sitting behind a desk trying to hide them ankles, dozing off, and then saying a couple of words, getting up there speaking about stuff that don't even make no sense. Telling me something 2 months ago, he was down there in Saudi Arabia, and that was in May. I don't want to hear that bull crap, Tim.
But do you not give him credit for at least the fact that he's... No. You didn't hear what I was about to say.
They ain't giving him... I keep telling you I'm not giving him credit for nothing. So it don't matter what you say.
So you're telling me Trump has done nothing good for the country at all?
No.
How is that not Trump derangement syndrome incarnate?
And how is he don't have Biden derangement syndrome? How you don't have Kamala derangement syndrome?
I don't have... Listen, I'm my
yes,
vote.
You do. You talk about it. You bring her up every chance you get.
No, I do not. I brought her up because...
Every day you throw that fan up and call her a bad candidate.
This is not
you have Kamala derangement syndrome.
I do not. Listen.
Accept it. Can we move on with what you want to talk about? Because I ain't got time for this bull crap you talk about. I'm not going to take up for Donald Trump. He's sleeping because he be up all night like a dementia patient. You know, they don't sleep through the night. They sleep through the day.
Come on.
He up all night doing 600 tweets talking about nothing, sharing AI videos, sharing propaganda. That man, baby, come on with something.
But is that not, when he's up all night doing tweets and things like that, at least he is paying attention to what's going on and responding to the people?
Tim, let me say this right quick and forgive me for saying fuck you. Now come on with what you want to talk about, Tim.
Oh my God, you guys are horrible. Okay, what we're talking about now, Jesus Christ. The Somalis being garbage, which is on the monitor. But we're talking about the death for drug dealers also. And I'm asking, would it be acceptable if some of our citizens who have smuggled drugs across international borders face the same wrath of these Venezuelans in boats? Will we accept that?
No, they ain't, Tim. They wouldn't like if our people were being murdered without any proof that they was bringing drugs into the country.
No,
Trump, that was wrong.
I mean, Trump says it's about protecting our shores from dangerous narcotics entering our country.
But Tim, but you pardon a guy who brought 400 tons of cocaine into the United States, but you care about drugs coming over here. Stop it, Trump.
What? And if it's not about drugs, I think me and Denkel talked about this early in the show. If it's not about drugs, then what the hell is it about?
He want them folks oil. He want them folks resources. He want a regime change over there. Trump don't care nothing about drugs coming over no border. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what he say. He lie every day. Just like Caroline Levitt get up there every day with that cross. I hope it burned through her skin. Up that line. Listen to me. Every time they ask her about why he pardoned somebody, this the same excuse every time. He felt like the Biden administration had wrongly convicted. Yeah. Stop it. Is that going to be the excuse every time he give a pardon Trump on Tim?
Well, according to Trump, I think he said he didn't really even know the guy. The Honduras president.
Thank you. So how you know he was mistreated if you don't even know him?
I don't. Then why would he pardon him then?
Tim, because his folks probably paid him. You know pardons are for sale in this administration. Come on, Tim.
I've been told from day one that finally we got a president that came with his own money. It's not even taking a salary. So we know he's not going to be in there grifting. Guy came down the golden escalator claiming to be worth $15 billion.
Oh, hold on, Tim. Tony Giles. She ignored it. She ignored it. She ignored
You talking about Carolyn Leavitt?
Okay, because I know he couldn't be talking about me. Go ahead.
Okay. President Trump came to the White House after coming down the golden escalator with his own money, not even taking a salary, donate that to charity. So folks suggested that because it's clear, unlike the other politicians.
Okay, Tim. Hold on. He talking about me. When you learn how to spell, then you can address.
Who was talking about you in the comments?
Tony Giles. When you learn how to spell, then you can address me. You damn dummy.
Yeah,
now, Tim, back to me and your conversation.
Yeah, he definitely says yes, you. He says
he an ignorant motherfucker. I would teach him how to spell ignorant, but it probably said it was wrong. Listen, Tim, check this out.
Yes, ma'am.
If you knew you could make more money off the presidency than you could get a salary, what the hell you care about that little bit of salary?
Yeah, but anybody would know that. I mean, you know instantly.
But Tim, everybody ain't no crook to do it.
So you're saying Trump is a crook?
That man just sent out an email the other day saying he need to make his quota for the end of the year for the presidency. And then you got the evangelicals come out, sending out some money so Trump can make it into heaven. They believe he do enough good that he can get in. What is going on with this administration, Tim?
But let's be clear. A lot of people believe that if they do a lot of good, they can get into heaven. That ain't something unique
He
to Trump.
ain't going.
How the hell can you dictate who God is going to take into heaven or not? What are you talking about?
Tim, let me say this. The Bible said this. It don't say you can't lie. It say liar. Trump is a liar because he lie every day, all day. The man said he has never asked for forgiveness. That's the first thing you got to do in order to get into the kingdom of heaven. He's not going, Tim.
Can he repent on his dying day?
He's not going to.
Is there not still time?
He's not going to.
You certain of that?
The Lord has already hardened his heart. He's not going to, Tim.
I got one of my viewers referring to you as a ghetto caller. I don't know what that's coming from.
I wouldn't give a good goddamn. What Tim? Let me explain. Hold on, let me explain something to your chat. And I'm finna talk real dirty.
Ooh.
Don't nail one of the dicks on here lay next to me and poke me at night. Don't nail one of the mouths on here put their tongue out and lick me deliciously. Ain't now one of them giving me no money when I go pay my bills. So why should I care about what they say about Kiki? I can be ghetto or I can be nice. I could be professional. I could be whatever I want to be. But what does it matter to you? Are you walking with me on your own? No, you're not. So why should you care if I'm ghetto? How does that affect your life?
I want to find out this. I mean, I've heard the term used, but I never heard it used the way you. I'm just interested in regards to a term you use. You said "lick me deliciously."
That's what I said.
What is that? Elaborate that. I don't know.
Quit playing with me, Tim. You know exactly what I mean, Tim.
I know, but I want to know.
When they want to spread your legs like an eagle and go down there and treat you like the Golden Corral buffet.
A 1, a 2. Okay, I get it now. I get it. I just had not heard that term used. It caught me off guard. It actually caught me.
You know what, Tim? That's probably what's wrong with them. They want to.
It kind of reminded me some years back.
They want to climb up this yum tree, Tim. They want to use me for a mattress pad for their bed, Tim. They want me. That's why they talk about me, Tim. Ooh. They want me real. They probably went on my page and looked at how thick I am, Tim. They want me. I understand, Tim, because I promise you, when I look in the mirror, I be trying to get with myself.
Damn.
That's how fine I think I am, Tim.
Damn. I tell you, Gangsta Grandma get a lot of people going on her page. They've been calling her white since the show started.
Leave it alone. But look, Tim, seriously, on a real note, because I don't have time to entertain your, people.
My people. That's a racist term. You people, or you my people? What do you mean by that?
I'm trying to entertain the people that come at me on your show.
All right, that's better.
Because they make me say stuff that I don't usually say. You know, I don't talk like this, Tim, on Zeus.
Well, when you're using descriptive words like deliciously, you're welcome on the show anytime.
I'm just saying, Tim, you know I don't talk like this. But it seems that your show, the only show that bring out the worst in me, because the people, you know, Tim, everywhere I go, I'm kind of like a little famous on this app. People love to see me coming to their shows, but your show, people try to get me riled up, Tim, and I don't appreciate it because I'm trying to do better in life. I'm trying to do better, Tim.
Well, speaking of being before you do, speaking of being riled up, as you state, Tony Giles 59 in the comments suggests that you can roll your hair with rice. What is that? What is he suggesting?
I started my dreads, so it's probably short, but no, I could roll it with some small rollers. It don't have to be rice. Okay. You know, I used to could roll it with rice when I had cut it all off. You know, when I was wearing it like a little boy cut, then I could roll it with rice and everything like that. But your breath will melt the hairs on my cat.
Ooh, shit.
Your mouth is so effed up that you could go down on me and I probably have a hysterectomy when you come back up.
Okay.
You.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Your breath is hotter than a 16-year-old on prom night with no curfew. How about that? You so damn ugly that the doctor slapped your mama instead of you. Because he was mad at how the fuck you look. She tried to leave you at the hospital and they had to chase her down to bring your ugly.
I apologize.
You ain't even got no pictures of a child because every time they tried to snap, the damn camera broke. How about that? You got the face that'll make an onion cry. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, that way.
Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. All right, what were you about to say before we went down?
Nothing, Tim, because Tony done pissed me off.
Yeah, he says 5 kids, 4 baby daddies. He's still
I got 2 kids. They have the same dad. And you don't even know who your daddy is. Okay? Just because your daddy, your uncle on your mama's side, who is her brother, don't come for me. I know your uncle, your daddy. Yeah. Your mom's brother is your dad. How about that? Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll let you wrap it up. Let
me wrap that on up, Tim. Because Tony keep coming for me, and I don't even have the energy to deal. He mad because his uncle is his daddy. He mad because when he was a child, they threw food at him because they were scared to get close to him. The dog wouldn't even play with him, Tim.
All right, okay.
When you got a dog and the dog won't even play with Tim, you're ugly.
All right. I gotta go.
I gotta go. You ugly as hell.
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, you ugly. They use you for Halloween, for your Halloween decoration. They just stand you in the yard, and the children won't even come in the yard. Yeah.
Back to the boat off the coast of Venezuela. I gotta go to Keisha.
Bye, Tim.
God, Jesus Christ. See ya. Tell him to Keisha that we love. Tell to Keisha that we love her. Hey, tough. Hands of sticky fingers. I think she knows that there is some support, but she definitely attacks those that are not. Beautiful Diva says, laughing my fucking ass off. No, keep her on. I gotta get composure. I can't keep taking that. I'm a host that's supposed to keep a straight face. She was killing it. Anyway, looking in the comments, that's why I would never vote for a black female leader in any position, says Creed. Creed, why would you not vote for a black female leader? I'd be curious to know because, like, she just went off on a diatribe of throwing around insults. The guy in the White House does that. So why would you exclude her? Trump calls people all sorts of names and says all kinds of crazy things. So let me know what's the difference. Joshua says because of racism that he wouldn't vote for a female. Trump and Jesus are the way, the truth, and the life. Trump 2028, baby. I will say this. I'm not going to pretend like there's not enough loyalty and support for Trump to possibly get a third term. I don't want that to happen. I want to stick with the Constitution. I'm not going to pretend like it's not possible with the amount of support and loyalty that President Trump has. However, I'm going to flat out state with his age and his health, it is ridiculous for anybody who thinks that's going to happen. It ain't nothing to do with whether he can or cannot do it. Father Time is not going to fucking let him. That guy is not going to be president from the age of 83 to 87. It is not going to happen. I just want to let you know that. Regardless if you think he can do it or not, Father Time is going to step up and say, fuck off. If he was 20 years younger, 10 years younger, we may have a conversation. But just expecting to live to 87 is a hell of a feat on its own. Trump is not super healthy right now. As many of my viewers are pointing out, he is now doing what he criticized Biden for doing, falling asleep. Do you think he's trying to fall asleep on television? No. In fact, there is him. I wish I'd had it prepared here, but there is clips of him making fun of President Biden when Biden was still in office about him having the uncanny ability to fall asleep in front of the cameras. And then he concludes by saying, I would never fall asleep in front of the cameras. Well, that's obviously not happening now. So you expect Trump to complete 3 more years in office, then get elected to another 4? You look at Trump and believe that he is somehow, some way healthy enough to do 7 more years in the world's most toughest position? It's not going to happen. And I'm willing to admit that there's enough loyalty for President Trump that if he maintained control of Congress and the Senate, they may try to change the laws. But you can't fuck with Father Time. Father Time is not going to let that happen. I'm going to tell you, 2028, with a healthy, functional, sane Trump is a feat in itself. The belief that he's going to be around in 2032, sane, healthy, and able to run the country is insane. I don't believe it. I don't believe that's going to happen. Not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that he couldn't get enough support for his position to be extended. I don't think Father Time is going to allow what you guys want to happen. 83 to 87 years of age, I don't believe it's going to happen. Anyway, looking in the comments, Trump shouldn't be falling asleep. However, I can understand why, for what and how much he is doing just this first year. Well, if he's falling asleep now, what do you think he's going to be doing in 5 or 6 fucking years? As he's getting older and things like that. What do you think he's going to be doing then? It's not gonna happen. You think he's not intentionally taking naps in front of the cameras? It's getting to the point where it's obvious it's shit he cannot control, which is exactly what was happening to Biden. Biden is a little bit older than President Trump. But remember, when President Trump was inaugurated in January of this year, he was the oldest president in U.S. history to be inaugurated. So he is actually older than Biden president-wise. He is an older president than Biden was last term. So don't be surprised if many of the critiques, the criticisms and jokes that many made about Biden start to clearly appear relevant to Trump. Dementia, falling asleep, stuttering words, losing trains of thought. Don't be surprised if a lot of that shit starts appearing that it's happening to Trump. And I don't think you're going to be able to continue making the argument, well, he stays up all night. That ain't going to be sufficient, because it would not have been sufficient for Biden, even if he was staying up all night. There is a such thing as karma. Anyway, looking in the comments here real quick, tap the screen, get us on up to 145,000. But yeah, Father Time is not going to let Trump do a third term. Good luck with it. Trump ain't doing nothing Heritage Foundation is. He has to be to go before the cameras, though. Stay awake. Certainly after you made all of this, the folks on the right made all this fuss about Biden's cognitive abilities. You can't get up there and look just as bad, and all of a sudden you're ignoring it now. None of the Obama voters have left the auditorium, bro. If Trump makes it legal for a third term, we're putting Obama back in office. That ain't how it's going to work. If Trump somehow changes the law so he can run a third term, they're going to close the portal for Obama to do it. It'll be based on some form of language that suggests that you cannot have done the terms consecutively. They'll close it so that Obama can't do, because Obama running against Trump, Obama wins, hands down. Hands down, Obama wins. He's younger. Certainly with what is some of the things Trump has done while in office, Obama wins against Trump hands down. I'm not even going to believe that is even much of a contest. Anyway, looking in the comments, Trump, he's not going to make it after Christmas. Damn. I also don't think he's not going to make it to next year. He's also going to be crapping on himself. Well, people do suggest that Trump wears a diaper. I don't know. People suggest that Michelle Obama's a man. I don't know about the wearing of the diaper and things like that. But you think he's not going to make it till Christmas? It's like 20-something days. Really? No, it's not going to be that fucking quick. Christmas of 2026, 2027? Let me go back to the box. That's a hell of a prediction. And there is an individual from the medical field that's making a bunch of videos talking about Trump only has 4 to 6 months left to live. I'm sure some of you folks on TikTok may have seen this. Have you seen any of those videos, Miss Mobetta?
What?
This guy who's claiming to be I don't know what type of doctor he is, but he's claiming that Trump only has 4 to 6 months left to live.
I don't know, but from what he's displaying, that he is he's ready for the nursing home at least.
Really? Based on what?
Just sitting there dozing. What is he, a narcoleptic? What is he, narcoleptic or something? Like, come on. Like I said, a lot of this stuff doesn't take rocket science, Tim. No, are we medical professionals? Absolutely not. But however, we know what we see. We've been around people that have aged. We know what the symptoms are when it comes to aging and aging out. And he's showing the signs. Now he's not moving. He doesn't even move his hands like he used to do. He talks with his hand.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't even do that anymore. He's falling asleep in pivotal meetings. Like, come on, Tim. Come on. Like, what else do you need to see?
I got
He the one who came up with the term "Sleepy Joe Biden." Bitch, you dozing down.
Well, something's interesting. You said he doesn't talk with his hands because he is known for doing it. I normally am listening to him while I'm working my day job, and I got the earpiece in my ear. I don't normally visually look at the screen, but now you got me wanting to do that. So you saying he's not moving his hands as much?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't move his hands as much. I listen, like I said, you don't just pay attention to what they say. You got to pay attention to the patterns, how they move. You got to pay attention to how they move. He's not doing what he used to do.
Wow.
I guess he probably feels, I'm old, but I'm not old like Biden. Anything to bring Biden up. I mean, people talk about Trump derangement syndrome. Trump has Biden derangement syndrome terribly.
I don't disagree with that whatsoever. You cannot put a camera in front of Trump or a microphone in front of Trump without Biden's name not coming up. I'm actually this is 2 days ago. I'm just listening to you, but I'm looking at the movement of him. I didn't notice that he was not using his hands as much. He does look fairly stiff here. He doesn't move as much. Wow.
He doesn't. He's falling off. Like, listen, you're at that age. I don't know if he's in denial about his age or his ability or whatever, but we see it.
So you're saying Trump 2028, like what I said, is not likely to happen.
Yeah, okay. 2028 for what?
Well,
it's either jail or nursing home. That's it.
He's not going to jail, Miss Mobetta. Trump would never.
Of course, he won't go to jail because again, he got people in place that won't allow him to be prosecuted for anything.
Something.
Watching them commit crimes in our faces.
Well, it's not even necessarily having the right people in place. Let me just say it like this. Let's say you were nominated as the president and you were told by your advisor, I mean, obviously his age is a concern too, but you were told by your advisors that for the good of the country and unity, it probably would not be a good idea to put this guy in jail. Just let him, if we can get him to just get out of politics and keep a lower profile, would you be okay with giving him a pardon for the remainder of his life?
Shit, they locked Bill Cosby up in that 83. What the fuck would be the difference with him? They're both public figures.
Bro, Bill Cosby was allegedly a rapist. I mean, what has Trump did?
And so was Trump too. So was he. He was found liable for some shit too. So we're not gonna go there. We're not even gonna touch that.
He was found liable for sexual assault, not rape.
It's the same shit. What's the levels? What's the levels to that shit? It's all a violation.
Well, I mean, Bill Cosby allegedly drugged women and forcibly penetrated them. Trump is not.
Them hoes know what the fuck it was too. Like, bitch, please. We're not even going there either, because that's just gonna take your show left. We're not gonna go.
All right, okay, I'll leave it at that. So
and MAGA reacts. It was in civil court because of the statute of limitation for shit. So knock it off. We're not gonna go there either.
So for the good of the nation itself, you would not grant Trump a pardon?
No, absolutely not. Aren't they about law and order? Nobody's above the law. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what your position is, whether you're a police officer, the president, or Congress, or whatever. Nobody's above the law.
I don't disagree with the not being above the law, but I'm saying it from a standpoint of, like kind of how President Ford pardoned Nixon. Let's just get past this event and move on, because if we have a president incarcerated, that's going to always keep coming up. Let's just move on from this era and let bygones be bygones, as opposed to throwing this guy.
Okay, you move on from that, and they're still committing crimes. They're blowing people up in waters and shit. Those are criminal acts. Till they still doing shit. They shift from one position to the next, doing the same shit. It's the same thing. Wow. And you watching the same news and articles and shit that we all watch.
Well, then how about just hand him over to international court? Because I'm sure he's considered as a war criminal.
If they had any balls, they would. But that goes back to my point to saying, when you got people lined up in a position that's going to protect them from the shit, he's not going to be held liable for anything. Then he's not going to even take accountability for nothing. He'll throw his whole cabinet under the fucking bus before he said, I did anything wrong.
A U.S. president tried at The Hague. Can you imagine? Wow.
No, I mean, have we seen it? No, but is it possible? Yes.
I don't, man.
Is it possible? Yes. Come on. We all know what he's doing is fucked up. It's wrong. He creates these problems. He demonizes people like he's doing the Somalis. I didn't know the Somalis were big on supporting him either. But, he demonizes things, and that causes nothing but division. And for the people that's in the comments saying that Obama caused all kind of division, no, he didn't. It's just that when they saw that black man with his black ass in that White House, all them fucking racists came out of the woodworks. He was like a gigantic boulder that fell in a snake pit.
So you
dropped in the middle of that bitch, and they all started running out.
It's almost like you trying to say Trump is a fuel for racism or something.
He is. Even if he's not, all the ones that are racist support him. They support his ass.
But you do acknowledge that blacks can be racist too, right?
Oh yeah, we probably are.
Okay, all right.
It's more so prejudice than racist, though, because they are telling the truth when it comes to racism. It's more of a systemic thing. You know what I'm saying? And they use the race to hinder or prevent anybody from going forward or having just do. It's a whole nother definition too that you didn't read, but it's there.
I mean, I don't like to twist the words. Like, I'll just say, and by the way, while you've been talking and since I've had this clip going, he has not brought his right hand up from under that desk. You're kind of right. He is much more stiff. He's almost performing his own.
I'm telling you, go look at all of his recent videos from, like, I would say the last 2 to 3 months, and he's in that same position. And when he talks, he'll use one hand, and then his one hand he'll put the other hand over the other and sit like that. You know, they came out with accordion videos because he used to use his hands so much. They had him putting the accordion in there because he would talk with his. He don't do that anymore.
Or the whole jagging out two guys at once.
You know, doing that Bubba thing that he was doing.
Yeah, he definitely looks less animated by a lot. I mean, he's barely moving at all. And I mean, this is a 2-hour video, so I don't know. You
already know he doesn't tell the truth. The people around him are afraid of him. Hey, Mike Boo. People around him are afraid of him. They scared of losing what they have, or you know, stuff like that. So they're not going to hold him accountable for anything either.
Yeah,
they don't. They're not.
Yeah, I did not notice this until you told me, so I wanted to bring this up. This is him from a couple of days ago. Yeah, that right hand has not come from under the desk. I mean, he definitely looks very reserved compared to how he normally looks. Something is different by the way he is.
It's very different. And again, MAGA, of course, they're gonna on Fox News. They said that he deserves to have a nap. Listen, y'all call Sleepy Joe Biden. Y'all can't even find a video where y'all saw Joe Biden sleeping at any kind of press conference or any kind of meeting. Y'all come up with videos where you saw Joe Biden sleeping anywhere. You didn't.
Is that true? Now, I thought there is. So there's no videos of Biden, rather. No videos of him ever caught sleeping.
No.
That's Benicio said because.
Listen, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, but I haven't seen it.
Benicio said because he was in bed.
Where he's supposed to be. That's where you're supposed to sleep at. Not in the fucking in the White House, in the Oval Office, or at a meeting, a press conference with everybody, all kind of heads in there. You don't sleep.
Yeah. Well, like I said, based on this video I'm seeing here, and it's only 4 minutes into it. This is a 2-hour and 17-minute video. I'm trying to see, does this?
And he probably slept for an hour or 45 minutes of it.
I think, but see with Trump.
Sleep at people's funerals and shit. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And the shit, and the evidence is there. That motherfucker was knocked out.
I think with Trump though, what do you want to call it? Anger and I guess I'd say even hate. Hate and anger and the desire for revenge. That stuff drives him to be up in the middle of the night. I mean, he's always after people.
Well, it sucks for him. You know why? Because if a lot of this stuff he know that people say about him wasn't true, he wouldn't even worry about that shit. You know how much shit that people talked about Obama, they talked about. Do you think they got up on the TV every day talking about, you said this. Shut up, Peggy. Yeah, are you dumb? Are you stupid?
There we go. Real quick. I had to find it. It was 34 minutes into the video. He did, for a quick second, bring his hands up from behind the desk for about, I don't know, it looks like about 5 seconds, but I scrolled through for 34 minutes.
Yep. That I'm telling you. He's declining, and what you call it? What's that man that was sitting next to him talking? Rubio, whatever. They was trying to talk loud to wake his ass up, so because they seen him sleep. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. His hands are out. I'm trying to see if you can see anything on his hands because I think he has some band-aids or something on his hands. But briefly, he's talking with his hands there.
He's talking with his hands, but the table is supporting them. You look, rewind it again. When he's talking with his hands, but the table are supporting his hands.
It's so quick, and this is a 2-hour video that it's hard for me to find the spot. But wow, okay. Like I said, I'm gonna be looking for that now. I did not notice that. I've heard.
React, shut your ass up. Please don't get me started.
You said play a video with no table.
Tell that motherfucker, you shut the fuck up.
Well, you know, back.
We know what it is. You're on your knees for him. We're not.
Well, you know, they tell me I'm on my knees for Trump, and I don't know what. There he goes. He doing. Yeah. See, this is the same. I've rewound it, but he does come up.
The table is supporting his hands.
Yeah, that is true.
The fuck? They still trying to say that those were fishing. They weren't fishing boats that were blown up in the waters too. Like, yeah, listen, yeah, they get up there, they lie, and they just lie from Caroline to that Botox Barbie, Christy Nome. Them all them bitches be lying. All of them hoes lying. Hey, fucking lying ass cavity.
Do you see him as possibly not making the 3 years though?
I don't see him. No, physically he's declining. He's declining fast. He's declining a lot faster than people want to admit.
Wow.
Listen, I've worked in nursing home for a long time. I've seen it. My grandmother lived to 94. May she rest in peace. I know what it is. He's declining fast, and sleeping like that is one of the signs. Like, he's really ready for the nursing home.
But see, that's what happened with Joe Biden. Is Joe Biden started telling them he needed to be sleep and lessening his schedule, whereas Trump may be too proud to do that. I mean, Biden announced that he needed to get more sleep, and they started not having him out past, I think, like 8 o'clock or something like that. Whereas Trump don't want to, Trump is going to go out fighting. And just like when he had COVID, he wanted to walk to Marine One from the White House. And when they later admitted he needed to be on oxygen, he was really, he was in bad shape, but he wants to project power.
He was going the wrong cars and all of that stuff. So, like I said, they don't admit to the stuff that he does or don't do. They don't admit to none of that stuff. All they want to talk about is Biden. Listen, Biden, his old ass is home. Hopefully he's healing from having cancer, So, let's move on from Biden like they tell everybody else. Let's move on from him. Move on from him. He's retired now.
Yeah, and it looks
he's not in politics anymore.
Yeah, and it looks like he's falling asleep right now. He just fell asleep. Yep, his hands dropped.
He fell asleep at the drop of a dime.
I've heard about this stuff, but I haven't seen it. He's awake now. He actually, you can see his hands drop. He actually went to sleep for a minute. I gotta move.
And for people talking about using AutoPen, every president has used the AutoPen, including Trump. Look it up. Stop acting like Biden ran his whole campaign, his whole term using the AutoPen. That's not true. Every president uses the AutoPen at some point or another. Look it up.
I'm hearing that he wants to cancel all of Biden's work with the AutoPen, the pardons, everything.
Well, see, that's what he does. He just goes in there and he wants to dismantle. That's how C-19 ran so rapid, because you went in there canceling shit, and about over 1 million people lost their lives because you want to cancel something that somebody else did. And if the problem with that is not the fact that you canceling things, you have no backup plan. You have nothing to replace none of this shit. You just do it, and whatever happens. That's because he's selling us out for pardons and shit like that. For planes and shit. He's selling this country is for sale.
This is our president. 3 more years. I got to move it on, Mr. Mobetta. 3 more years?
Yeah.
I mean, if Father Time does not catch up, but this is our guy.
Lord have mercy upon us. Because you see now, you don't even really see J.D. Vance, because his ass somewhere feeling up on Erica some goddamn where.
You and this Erica Kirk J.D. Vance connection. Oh my! Let me make this clear. You do not believe those two are hitting it off, do you?
He's bending that ass over. She came out there with her little tight leather pants on and all that, rubbing in his head. Listen, I know what it is. Bendo, he made sure that he escorted her late husband's body back on Air Force 2. He made sure that he was head of that casket when they was. Come on, bro.
I have a hard time believing that, but I will say this, Erica.
I don't. You do, but yeah. I don't.
I will just say this though. Erica Kirk did recuperate pretty damn quick. I'll say that.
What? We still looking for a tear. Come on. Listen, that's just too much of a coincidence. And whoever they got locked up, and again, that's why you don't hear nothing about that kid, because they know he's not the one that did it.
What do you mean we're still looking for a terror? Oh, a tear. Oh,
A
yes,
tear.
she doesn't
We're still
cry
looking
very
for a tear.
She doesn't cry very much.
You don't hear nothing about. That's one of the most highest profile. They escorted this man on Air Force 2. How are you not hearing about this case almost every day? How are you not hearing shit about it right now? That's because the powers that be that had his ass taken out is connected to all them mofos. Yes, that's my opinion, and I'm standing on it.
So you don't buy into the notion that Tyler Robinson took out Charlie Kirk. You think the government
he did not. He did not take him out. Absolutely didn't.
Sound like you've been listening to Candace Owens. I gotta move it on.
Listen, and before I go, where the fuck is them Epstein files?
Good luck with that. All right.
Where MAGA? Where Epstein files? Where they at?
I don't think they care about that. Miss Mobetta, always a
They
pleasure.
hoping he fall asleep permanently before they come out.
Gotta go. Anyway, tap the screen. I don't think you're going to get the Epstein files, if you ask me, unless you get Democrats in the midterms. I think they're going to go out fighting against releasing the Epstein files the whole time. I'd be real shocked if you get those. But yeah, he do look like he is absolutely having a hard time staying awake. You know, it kind of looks like me in church back in the day when I went to church. That's what it looks like, is a guy in church when he wants to really be home watching the game. Let me walk you through this, folks. I'm not black, but I'm going to walk you through this. Those of you who came from Africa are attempting genealogy. Go see Family Search. Lisa, I don't get what you're trying to say there. I'm sorry, man, but you sound like an idiot, says Josh to my last caller. I don't know. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll make it happen with Lewis. Good evening, Lewis. Welcome to the program. I like how Marco Rubio addresses the whole table of cabinet members like they're liberals watching. The problem with Marco Rubio at this point, and I think Marco Rubio could have been presidential. I think the problem with Marco Rubio now is he has a connection to Trump. If Trump goes out, you know, from a glorified standpoint, then Marco Rubio would probably be a better choice to follow him than JD Vance. But if Trump does not go out with high poll numbers, even though I think Marco Rubio has the qualifications to be president, his ties to Trump will probably kill him. Lewis, good evening.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's good. What do you think about Marco?
For some reason,
go.
What I think about who?
Marco Rubio.
What I think about who?
Marco Rubio.
I think Marco Rubio has ruined his chances of running for a good president, giving it a good shot himself. I don't even think Trump would
endorse
him. I really don't. I don't think Trump would not over JD Vance.
Well, JD Vance. Now, both Marco Rubio and JD Vance, they both have history with Trump. I mean, Marco Rubio, little Marco, we heard all that, but JD Vance said Trump is Hitler-like. So, what's so special about JD Vance over Marco Rubio?
Yeah.
What's so special about JD Vance?
I just think JD Vance has Trump back better than Mark Rubio does. JD Vance has stood up for him. I mean, he really has.
Well, yeah. I agree with that.
I don't think anyone from the Republican Party right now can go up against Gavin Newsom or a Mark Shapiro.
Really?
I mean, the Democrats have a hell of a line. Yeah, they have a hell of a lineup on the Democratic side that they'd have a hard time beating right now. And I don't even, and like you said, you did make a point that if Trump ran against Obama, he wouldn't have a chance.
No, I don't think. Not now for certain. I mean, Trump still has 3 more years in office.
Tim, I have to ask you this. Did you vote on the left or the right last election?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Then why do you keep saying she wasn't a good candidate?
Because she wasn't a good candidate. I'll tell you. Let me give you a more detailed answer. I don't believe nobody voted for Kamala Harris. I believe they voted against Trump. I don't think I think that if you replace Kamala Harris,
is that what you did? Is that what you did?
Yeah. I think if you replace Kamala Harris with Biden, Newsom, Whitmer, Shapiro, they would have all gotten at least what Kamala Harris got, if not more. I think Kamala Harris just simply scored a hell of a lot of anti-Trump votes. I don't think a whole lot of people were like, yay, Kamala Harris. I mean, she ran for president. Remember the whole Biden, she was trying to suggest that Biden was racist, and when she was running in the primary, she did terrible. She did terrible among Democrats. I think she only did as well as she did because there was a huge sentiment of anti-Trump votes.
I honestly think this, though. Based on the fact that I really think Biden screwed up not getting out of the race, not running the second term.
That too.
I think Kamala Harris, I think of her about the same as I thought of Hillary Clinton. I think they were the best two candidates that have ran for president in my lifetime. I think they had the best qualifications of any president that has ran in my lifetime based on their history and their service to this country. I think Kamala Harris had the same thing that Hillary had. She was a lawyer. She was a prosecutor, even though people say that was bad what she did. But we can't keep saying our people get up there and don't do their job. She did her job.
And I don't disagree with you that Kamala Harris, on her resume, shows she is qualified, being a district attorney, attorney general of California, senator of a state of California, vice president. That sounds like a stepping stone towards going for the Oval Office. When I say it's a difference between being qualified and being a good candidate, though, because you don't have to be qualified to become a politician. Being a good candidate means selling yourself to the people, telling them what they want to hear, energizing them to go out and vote for you. You can do that with no resume at all. Obama on paper was not qualified.
I think where people screwed up at with Kamala Harris and passing judgment on her was that what they had to understand is that she was the vice president. She couldn't criticize anything that Biden was doing.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be right for her to say when she was sitting in the room when most of those decisions was being made and say, I didn't agree with most of them.
But the problem
she
is,
couldn't say that.
The problem is it's different. It's a difference when you have plausible deniability and you can kind of lie and prevent from criticizing your boss, as opposed to what you are required to criticize them on. People can clearly see. People could clearly see Biden's cognitive decline, certainly at the June 27 debate. You can't be trying to defend him and saying he's okay when people see that.
I think even after that debate, Tim, I'm sorry. I think even after that debate, when I saw Biden for the first time after that debate, he looked fine.
He wasn't under pressure.
I do think he was crying, coupled with having flu-like symptoms. That was just a little too much, and it showed itself in a very ugly way. Since that, he has not been like that anytime I've heard him speak.
Yeah, but Louis, he wasn't. You every time you see Biden, he's not under pressure like he is in a debate. While he was in the debate, he's under pressure.
Tim, I'm gonna tell you something. They should have canceled that shit.
Right. So it never happened.
That's what I'm saying. So it was a lot of things. And not that I'm a you're right. I admit that. You did make a point. You made a great point when you said that we didn't just vote for Kamala Harris. We voted against Trump. I agree with that. That was a little bit of that. Just like everybody can say to me, when I voted for Obama the first time, second time I voted for him because I thought he was doing a great job. But the first time, it's because he was black. I ain't gonna lie. It was just because I thought it was time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie about that. It was a no decision for me. But the second time, I think he had earned it.
Fair enough.
And
going against Mitt Romney, yeah. But here's the point I'm making. When I say that Kamala Harris was a bad candidate and all this stuff that a lot of my viewers don't like me saying, if Biden had been a transitional one-term president and only ran one term, giving Kamala Harris plenty, much more time to run, She would not have been the
people to
candidate.
get to know her.
No, but she would not have been the candidate. Hold on. If the Democrats had the ability, if Biden had been a one-term president, you wouldn't have gotten more time to know Kamala Harris because the Democrats would have had a chance to decide, and they would not have picked Kamala.
I think they would have.
Really?
I think they would have picked whoever Obama. I think they would have picked whoever Obama and Biden said that need the DNC.
I don't even think Obama would have endorsed her. I mean, when you're talking about the likes of Gavin and Whitmer and Bashir and all, I don't think even Obama would have endorsed her. I think that if Biden had been a one-term president, the Democrats would have put another person up as their Democrat nominee.
I think they would have. I just think they would have. Now let me get to the day's news.
Go ahead.
Number one, 21 years in the military. One thing you don't do is you don't shoot, you don't fire on non-combatants. If they are not being combative, you do not take a second shot. Out of an M16, I mean out of AR-15 or out of a cannon, or out of anything, do you do that when there's no more combatants going on? And when those Democratic guys came out of that meeting today, that was the final nail in the coffin for Hegseth. Hegseth is going to be out.
Really?
That general who, with everybody,
you think Trump is going to get rid of Hegseth? Because unless he gets impeached, you think that how is Hegseth going to be kicked out? You think Trump's going to kick him out?
No, because Trump thinks it was a bad decision too. He had his head down the whole time when Hegseth was trying to explain that.
Shit, was he awake?
Number one, no, he was awake then. He was awake, but he looked pretty pissed off when Hegseth was explaining that. Now, you know what? I don't know, because you never even seen nothing but the top of his head. So he could have been asleep, but I don't think he was.
I think Trump has a problem admitting. I think Trump has a problem admitting when he's wrong. I don't see Trump forcing Hegseth out because that would be an admission that he made a bad pick. I don't see it.
I think if the Republicans get some kahunas and step up, that they'll sacrifice him over anybody else. But I don't think it's relevant. What I mean by he's out, he'll become a lame duck too in his little term the rest of the time because won't nobody listen to him. The admiral is going to take the fall for it. Because he gave the order.
Damn.
Even if, and for, you got to look at it this way. For Hegseth to be in the room, see the first shot, and 2 minutes later say he wasn't in the room when they took, it only took 2 minutes between the first shot.
That's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie he told.
They know now he's a lie. Somebody he had other stuff to go do.
Oh shit! He said he was not. I mean, he don't told a bunch of lies. He said he was not on the Signal app originally. He said the second kill shot, or what they call it, double tap, didn't even happen. I mean, it don't lie about a bunch of stuff.
I mean, Tim, they don't ever show you when they take someone out. We never seen the footage when Obama took out who he took out. We never seen the footage when
you're right.
We never get to see the footage of that. I understand them not showing that footage, but they still, you can bet those senators still need to see that footage.
Yeah. I actually believe that.
And they
go ahead.
And they said today that there were 2 people holding on to wreckage.
Yeah.
That couldn't go nowhere. Tim, we have every week there's probably some boat that's trying to bring drugs to the United States stopped by our Coast Guard.
Yep.
And what they do if they don't stop, they take out the engines or they take out the combatants on the boat, but they always confiscate the drugs.
Yeah.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, look, we know what he's doing is unusual. I don't disagree with that. We know what he's doing is unusual.
Trump is just trying to find a reason to go into Venezuela, and it's nothing but about oil, bro.
Everybody's saying that.
And we don't even need their oil. You know what country has the most oil reserves?
Us.
The United States.
Us, yeah.
Absolutely. We just don't have the refinery capability. That's all. But we definitely have all of the drug. We have all the oil we need. We just don't have the refining capabilities because we turn it over to OPEC. You know, Saudi Arabia owns the largest refinery in the United States, in Texas.
Bro, I still don't. I don't believe that
It's on our- it's an-
I don't believe that Hexif's going to go though. I'd be. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit it, but I don't
think he'll go because of this. I think he's going to go because of the Signal incident.
And it's looking like there's two of those because this was a big story a few months back, but it's looking like it's coming back to the surface.
But now they've gotten the footage on it. They've gotten the whole story on it. He actually did this 2 hours before the strike ever happened. This went out. They didn't know that. So it could have put the whole mission and airmen at risk when he did that.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's crazy that he wasn't a high-ranking military officer, but he even at his own rank, was he a major or what? I mean, it's crazy that he didn't know what he was doing was illegal.
Tim, a major is a first level field grade officer. It's not a big deal. That is the first level to becoming a field grade officer. It's not a lieutenant colonel. It's not a colonel. He hasn't even attended the war college. You can't even attend the war college until you are a lieutenant colonel. I live right there less than 20 miles from the Army War College. I go in there all the time. There's nothing walking around in there less than a colonel. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He hasn't even attended that. But then he's going to sit up there and chastise admirals and generals and command sergeant majors who have all attended the war college.
Well, he looks the part. I think that's why he's there. I think he looks the part.
That's it. I mean, it's just like you say. If you like pretty boys, yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. I held a lot against Gavin Newsom for a long time because I hate pretty boys. You remind me too much of Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? You
mean Pat Tillman or Pat Riley?
But Pat Riley, the Lakers
coach. The coach. Okay, I thought you mean Pat Tillman. Okay, Pat Riley. Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm saying though, but Pat Riley was a hell of a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not now. I have to just say, well, he's a pretty boy. Maybe he could be a hell of a president too, because he definitely gonna get the ladies' votes. Let's just be for real. Because he's definitely.
You talking about Newsom? You talking about Gavin Newsom?
Gavin Newsom. He looks like a movie star. He looks like an actor.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what helped Bill Clinton out. Bill Clinton and John Kennedy or John JFK. Their looks made a big difference for them.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. The whole family until this new RFK. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His and he's not a bad looking dude. His voice just messes him up. You know what I'm saying? Can't stand to listen to him. But
that is very hard to listen to that shit. That is very hard to listen to.
I can't listen to him talk for more than 2 minutes, and I'm done with him. And sometimes he does make sense, Tim. I'm gonna tell you something, Tim. I'm not a big vax person, even though I'm from the military and have taken just about every shot you probably can mention. But my thing is that I don't think the government should be forcing people to do it. I'm just going with my kids. My kids took so many shots, Tim, when they were coming up, that it was becoming annoying.
They're not forcing you. In a lot of cases, it's your employer. I mean, they're not forcing you to get vaxxed, but they're not forcing you.
No, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about adults. If he's saying adults, because adults can say no, kids can't say no. For your kids to go to school, they have to take those basic shots, Tim.
Yeah, but then you're going to force parents. Wait a minute, hold on. If I allow your child to choose whether they want to be if I allow your child to choose whether they want to be vaxxed or not, then my child has no choice whether they want to choose to be around vaxxed people or not. By your child choosing not to get vaxxed, now you're potentially exposing my child who doesn't want to be in that environment.
I don't think the child should be making the decision. I think the parents should be making the decision. I don't think the child should be making the decision.
So if the parents,
parents should.
So if the parents say, I don't want my child around non-vaccinated kids, and you're demanding your unvaccinated child be able to go to school, then my child's wish cannot be met.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if your child doesn't want to go, if you don't want your child to be vaxxed, then you need to keep your child at home and homeschool your kid.
Wait, say that again.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you don't want to,
if you don't want your kid to be vaccinated to protect other kids, then you need to homeschool your kids.
I don't disagree with that. I'm okay with that. If you want to have an unvaxxed child and you want to take your kid out, I believe you can do that. There's no law stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. But I don't think we should criticize the parent that makes that decision, is what I'm saying. If they choose not to, that's on them.
Yeah, I don't. You're going to get criticized no matter what. The problem, you're going to get criticized no matter what. But I agree with your point. The problem is the parents of unvaxxed children want the right to force vaccinated people to let them be around. If I'm unvaccinated, you shouldn't be to stop me from coming in your store or your restaurant or your school. The unvaccinated people want to force their way into vaccinated environments is where there's a problem.
I agree. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah. One thing, if they don't mind staying at home or if they don't mind staying in unvaccinated environments just like they are, there's no law stopping them from doing that. They're trying to force their way into. Yeah, they're trying to tell their employer, if I'm not vaccinated, you shouldn't be able to fire me. I should still be able to come to work. I mean, if I got a restaurant during the pandemic, if I got a restaurant and all of my customers are concerned with the vax, I gotta let you as an unvaxxed employee continue working here when all of the damn customers ain't gonna show up. That makes no sense at all.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you now, Tim, check this out. If you look at it, Florida right now has it where you do not have to vaccinate your kids for them to go to school.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's when you start having outbreaks.
That's when you have outbreaks, and that's why they do have more outbreaks than normal schools. They got a measles outbreaks right now that's out of control.
Yeah,
that's where my family's from. And the next time Meg is up here, Tim, could you do me a favor?
What?
Could you tell him to stop talking shit about how expensive and whatever it is to live in California? What this knucklehead needs to know that every place where you got water connected to your shores is expensive to live.
Mississippi got water connected. No, that's not true. Mississippi got water. They got a little coastline down in Mississippi and Alabama. It ain't expensive to live there. Louisiana ain't expensive.
And it's a racist ass state.
That's a different conversation, though. But it's not expensive to live there.
And they're a poor ass state.
That is true, but it's not expensive to live there.
Because nobody wants to live there, Tim.
Well, that's different. That is different.
But what I mean is that Florida, I'm from Pensacola, Florida. It's in the Panhandle, if you know where that is.
Okay.
It's not expensive to live in Pensacola, but you think it's not expensive to live in Miami?
Yeah, Miami's very expensive.
You think it's not expensive to live in Orlando?
Yeah. Well, Orlando is a tourist capital, so you're really going to pay a lot of money. I mean, you got the Disney World or whatever there. Miami is also pretty big on tourism and shit like that, so it's going to cost a fortune. But I get your point. I mean, if everybody want to live somewhere, it's going to cost more money to live there because it's a highly desired place. Everybody ain't trying to move to Maine, for instance. So I do get what you're saying.
And what I'm saying, it just costs to live in paradise. It really does. And if you've ever been to California, there's a place for everybody in California. I mean, it's just nice. I mean, when I lived in California, I was in Central California, and I'm telling you something. I could be on the beach in the morning and be skiing in the mountains at night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like snow skiing. So it just pays. It's just gonna cost you to live in a place like that.
Yeah.
And when he compares, I forget where Mega's from.
Florida. He's in Miami.
He's in Florida.
He's in Miami.
I'm from Florida. Everything in Florida is raggedy as hell.
That's it. Really? Come on now. You think so?
Except for where the ultimate rich live at. You're right. Palm Springs, super nice shit. But everywhere else in Florida is pretty run down, sand beaten. The roads are horrible, the whole 9 yards, and plus they get hurricanes. But so he should not compare a place like that to California. California is nice, fresh. Everything looks new. Everything is updated. It's just really nice. It pays to have that. That's why their taxes are so high. I mean, it's just that simple. I live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania got the second highest taxes in our country. So and the roads here are a lot better than they are in Florida. I guarantee you that.
I didn't.
You follow what I'm saying?
I guess I didn't think of it like that. I mean, I've been to Florida, I've been to California, I've been to Pennsylvania, all three of them numerous times. I got to move on, but I'll be sure to pass that on to MAGA Reacts. Appreciate you coming through, Lewis.
Yeah, he needs to stop. He needs to stop. And I bet you he's going to say he's never even been to Florida. I mean, to Miami. I mean, to California. If he ain't never been to California, he shouldn't talk so much shit about it.
We'll see. Appreciate it. And by the way, there's a hell of a lot of people that talk about Chicago like that, and they've never been in Chicago. I mean, the right makes Chicago sound like it's Beirut. I mean, there's a lot of people on the right always talking about Chicago. Never been there, no intention of going there. But yet when you ask them about violent cities in America, Chicago, because that's what the right-wing media often talks about. It's always Chicago. By the way, folks, open dialogue all Saturday. I'll follow the program if you're currently watching us on TikTok, Instagram, or X. We're currently live on X. We're currently live on Instagram and TikTok. You're watching us live on YouTube. Give your boy a sub. Looking at Chicago is too. I have been there. Yeah, I mean, Chicago has its neighborhoods that are violent, but the way the right talks about it, you got people on the right who thinks you can't even get a firearm to defend yourself in Chicago. That stuff is false. The right portrays Chicago way worse than what it actually is. And I'm not saying that Chicago does not have a significant amount of problems, but it's not anywhere near like the right portrays it. And if you ever go to Chicago in the tourist areas like Navy Pier and all that stuff, most of the time the claim when people come back from Chicago is, wow, it ain't as bad as I thought it was. Yeah, because you've been sitting around watching Fox and all this shit that literally keep a tally on what the murder rate is per weekend. Ask them how many people got killed in Memphis last weekend. They don't have any idea. They're just sitting around focused on Chicago. They don't even discuss what's going on in places like St. Louis and things like that. They're just sitting there literally taking a tally of what's happening in Chicago. Please, for the love of God, tell me how someone who is unvaccinated is going to affect someone that is vaccinated. If vaccinations actually work, please. Because real quick in the comments, vaccinations do not guarantee immunity is the word I'm looking for. You can still come down with the illness, but the vaccination is supposed to make it milder. That's what vaccination is supposed to do. Certainly in the case of COVID. So that's how an unvaccinated can cause harm to vaccinate. Also, there's more to it than just that too. If you are vaccinated, but your immune system is compromised, you got a cold, you got some other illness or a disease like cancer or something like that, where your immune system is not as strong, even though you've been vaccinated, you could be exposed. And if somebody who is unvaccinated comes around, they can make your life more miserable. So being vaccinated is not the know-all, end-all. If you don't want to catch the shit, you should be vaccinated, and it helps you out more when you're around people that also have been vaccinated. Unvaccinated people are not your friend. If your goal is to not catch whatever ailment you're concerned with, being around people who are not vaccinated against that is not in your best interest. That's why they're speaking out against it. You can just simply have the flu or pneumonia or some serious cold, and even though you've been vaccinated and your immune system is not working as strongly, this unvaccinated person come in coughing or sneezing and shit, boom, all of a sudden you got a major problem on your hands. That's why vaccinated people don't want to be around. Look, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. Just quit trying to force your way into crowds where they have been vaccinated. That's the only. Listen, if you believe in individual rights and freedoms, quit trying to force businesses to let you in. Okay, you don't want to be vaccinated? Fine. This business requires being vaccinated. Then just don't patronize them. Go to a different business. It's as simple as that. Why are you trying to take his rights away if the goal is for you to fight for your rights? I want my right to have nobody force something in my body. Fine. He don't want to have you be forced into his shop or business. You keep your rights, he keep his rights. It's as simple as that. You start trying to force your way into his business, not only can you make people ill by being unvaccinated, But because many customers don't want to be around you, you can also cost him business. You may get allowed by your local government access to his restaurant, and all of a sudden you're his only customer because the regular customers aren't coming in there anymore. No, he shouldn't have to deal with that. You're unvaccinated. Call DoorDash. Anyhow, folks, I appreciate the 173,000. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. We'll certainly be here tomorrow. You guys take care. Have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube as well. But nevertheless, it is that time of day. I got to step away. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.